Chapter 974. Kill. Fong Ping's throat was a little hoarse. It had been almost 3 hours since he parted ways with Qi Huanyu and the rest. The space battlefield seemed to be endless, with no end in sight. More and more origin demons appeared, but Fong Ping also noticed that they were getting weaker and weaker. Looks like you guys don't have the ability to continue creating. Fong Ping smashed a rank 7 demon into smithereens with a single punch and sneered. From a peak rank 8 demon to a rank 7 now, it was about to drop to rank 7. Obviously, the number of origin demons here was not infinite. Kong Lingyuan said tiredly. Fong Ping, who is controlling these origin demons? Fong Ping was speechless. You're asking me? How would I know? Beside him, Yu Wuhua panted slightly. If not for the owner of this space battlefield reviving to defend against external enemies, either that or some of the survivors from back then didn't leave and found a way to control these origin demons. No matter which one it is, everyone is in danger, Yu Wuhua said in a low voice. The owner of this place reviving to be able to create such a space battlefield. I'm afraid it was at the level of the 36 saints back then. Even if it's just a little bit, we won't be enough to kill them. And if there are people left here, Yu Wuhua took a deep breath and said, those who could enter this place back then were at least true god powerhouses. As soon as he said that, everyone looked solemn. Jiang Kuei, who participated in this battle, said slowly, in that battle back then, everyone left at the last moment. It was the last batch of people who came to clean up. If there are people left, they are either their people or the Second Wang's people. No matter which side, they are our opponents. True God, everyone fell silent. There was a huge gap between them and a true God powerhouse. They were not their opponents. At this time, Li Wuqi's mentality fluctuated. It's been more than 2,000 years since they left. Whether it is the Second Wang's people or the remaining people, they probably haven't left. Otherwise, if a true god leaves, I'm afraid it will cause Chaos Origin to riot. In these 2,000 years, if it is the Second Wang's people who are still in some danger, their heavenly court army might send some supplies in. If it is the people from that organization, then there might not be anyone who will send supplies in. Everyone looked at this big water buffalo. His face was filled with surprise. Li Wuqi could analyze the problem. The big water buffalo's bullnose panted. Why are you all looking at me like that? Is it that difficult to analyze? Does a cow have no intelligence? Fong Ping watched Li Wuji for a while, but did not say anything. After killing this batch of demons, he said after a moment of silence, we need to worry about the people behind this. We also need to be careful of Qi Huanyu and the rest. I'm just afraid that these two sides will join forces in the end. That would be even more troublesome. Fong Ping was silent for a while. He took a deep breath and said, After a pause, Fong Ping asked again, can I step onto the origin path here? He did not know if he could walk out of the origin path in the space battlefield. Would this place be isolated from the Great Tao? After all, this was someone else's source space. If it was possible, perhaps he should walk on the origin path. After a moment of silence, Jiang Kuei reminded, you probably haven't reached the peak of the 9th refinement yet. Although you can continue to temper your body at reciprocity, it'll be extremely slow. It's better for you to give up now that you've reached the 9th layer. Fong Ping smiled. Almost. I'm only worried about 2 things now. First, I can't leave. Second, you can't go far. Fong Ping sighed. My understanding of martial arts isn't too deep, although I have some understanding of the origin path. Compared to some of the older martial artists, I'm still far behind. After all, I'm only 21 years old. I've only practiced martial arts for 3 years. Everyone felt a headache coming on. Was there a need to act like this now? This was also the first time Yu Wuhua and the others had come into contact with Fang Ping. When they heard him say this, they felt extremely awkward. "I know you're awesome, but there's no need to keep saying it." Wu Hua interrupted him directly. "I've heard that the Devil Emperor achieved Origin Level 6 in a day, when he was double 8th layer. In your words, that's walking more than 500 meters of the main path. Of course, your knowledge isn't as good as the Devil Emperor's, and your experience isn't as good as his, but you're still a double 9th layer. Walking on the Origin path actually has a lot to do with the strength of your physique and the strength of your spiritual consciousness. If you leave now, even if you're not stronger than the Devil Emperor, you won't be too far off." Fang Ping rubbed his chin. "In that case, I can walk on the Origin path here." "It should be possible," Jiang Kuei explained. "Since we can use the Origin, it means that we can enter the Origin world. Walking on the Origin path should be possible." Fang Ping. Kong Lingyuan frowned slightly. "It wasn't easy for you to walk to double 9th layer. Your physique hasn't reached its peak yet, and your mentality can still continue to improve. Walking on the Origin path now might not be worth it." Fang Ping smiled. "It's nothing. Now that I've reached this realm, I can continue to hone my physique. I'm mainly worried that if I walk on the Origin path, the improvement in strength won't be as much as I thought, so it's not necessary. But if I can really walk 500 meters, the 5 times increase." Fang Ping broke into a grin. Now his vitality was almost 190,000 calories. 9-grade transformation, an increase of 220,000 calories. Walking 500 meters, an increase of 25,000 calories, more than 230,000 calories of vitality. A 5 times increase, more than 300,000 calories of vitality, in addition to the fact that his vitality was twice as strong as others. With this calculation, his vitality strength was more than 600,000 calories. Even if his control had dropped slightly with the new promotion, reaching only 60%, a casual outburst was still stronger than Qi Huanyu's all-out desperate move. If there are true gods here, after so many years of consumption without replenishment, they might not be as strong as Qi Huanyu. Fang Ping looked around. Everyone present could still continue fighting to the death. However, at the end of the battle, how many could survive? Enchanted Island beyond the sea, Outland, bounded boundaries, they had some casualties, but Fang Ping was not as sad as he imagined. In reality, everyone was just using each other. They were comrades now, but they might not be in the future. However, Kong Lingyuan and the others were the true source of humanity's confidence. Now that the casualties were so severe, even if old Zhang and the others took away absolute peak, how could humanity have the strength to fight back? No matter how strong he was alone, could he really block all the enemies? We can't let more people die. My vitality is almost at 190,000 calories. Did an old man walk on the Origin path without hesitation? Everyone has sacrificed enough. I'm just advancing, not dropping a realm. Before coming in, Fang Ping did not choose to advance. That was because his advancement speed was very fast, and the upper limit of his vitality was not too high. Now, however, he was very strong. It's time to walk on the Origin path. There's nothing perfect in this world. Maybe it's better to leave some regrets. Moreover, it's not like I don't have a chance to remedy it. I've reached rank 9. Even if the Origin path rejects me, I can still continue to hone my body. Old Zhang could hone his physique from 7 refinement to peak rank 8 at rank 9. Then I can also hone to peak 9 refinement. It was not too far from peak. Fang Ping looked around and thought for a while. A compass appeared in his hand. After looking at it for a while, there was no trace of Qi Huanyu and the others on it. There was also no trace of his group. After entering the space battlefield, there was no trace of them. but there was still a red dot on it. One of the red dots was huge, and there were dozens of people following it. Fong Ping glanced at it and made a judgment in his heart. This could be a group of people from Mount Wangu. They seemed to have come in again. Not only them, there are powerhouses hiding in Second Palace. Even if we get the treasures, the moment we go out is extremely dangerous. If old Zhang and the others can't rescue us in time, we will definitely die. I can't always pin my hopes on them. Thoughts flashed quickly in Fong Ping's mind. It's time for me to walk my own path. Fong Ping was silent, standing on the spot. At this moment, the others were also silent, walking the origin path. Everyone had experienced it before. However, when Fong Ping walked the origin path, everyone had an indescribable feeling. Jiang Kuei and the others had mixed feelings. That was because Fong Ping had become stronger. This time, the treasures might really be taken away by Fong Ping. Kong Lingyuan and the others had mixed feelings. That was because they felt that Fong Ping had not reached peak yet. He had the chance to reach peak. Even if there was a small difference, they felt that it was not perfect. Because Fong Ping was their hope. If Fong Ping could not make up for this small difference in rank 9, what would they do? A difference of more than 10,000 calories of vitality. The few of them actually had some ideas. Li Chongqing said that the limit of the 9th refinement was probably 200,000 calories of vitality. Fong Ping should not have reached this stage. More than 10,000 calories of vitality was not a small difference. The qualitative change of the 9th refinement's vitality over and over again would be 30,000 calories. At rank 9, the higher the vitality, the greater the increase in the moment of advancement. There might also be a difference of thousands or even tens of thousands of cal. In addition, the increase of the origin path was also related to the basic vitality. The Fong Ping who had advanced now might end up with a few tens of thousands of cal, less than the Fong Ping who had achieved full advancement. Fong Ping had hope, a very, very big hope. After going out this time, he might be able to achieve it in a month or so. People like us, the older we get, the more useless we become. Kong, Lingyuan, and the others had this thought in their minds. Now that there was danger, these young people had to bear it. They felt that their usefulness was getting smaller and smaller. 3rd place on the wind cloud list. So what? This time, if it was not for Fong Ping's efforts to turn the tide, if it was not for Li Hansong and the others' timely help, they would have been long dead. At this moment, Kong Lingyuan's aura changed slightly. Beside him, some of the people's gazes changed as they looked at him. Kong Lingyuan did not say anything. Seeing that Fong Ping was also looking at him, he smiled and said, "It's nothing. I just walked a few tens of meters." He said it simply, but the others' expressions changed. Kong Lingyuan had already walked more than 900 meters. Now, he walked another few tens of meters. What did he mean? Fong Ping was also surprised. Limit, more or less. Kong Lingyuan smiled, but there was some bitterness in it. Limit of rank, 9. So what? The improvement was really limited. Previously, after all kinds of enhancements, he was close to the limit of 370,000 calories. Now, at most, it was 380,000 calories. His ability improvement was limited. He did not care, but the others were shocked. Jiang Kuei was about to curse in his heart. Was it so easy to walk the origin in the human world now? How long could he live? His Tao of origin was currently more than 900 meters. In fact, it was not the limit yet. Not everyone could walk out of the limit. After 900 meters, some people might enter the peak directly. Whether they could walk to the limit or not, it still had a big impact. After entering the peak, there would be another qualitative change. Under normal circumstances, the basic vitality would increase by 50,000 calories. However, if one's foundation was deep, then it would not be 50,000 calories. For example, if Qi Huanyu advanced, it might not be 50,000 calories, but 60,000 calories. As for Zhao Xingwu, no one knew how much he had improved when he advanced. At that time, he did not actually transform. However, after leaving the battlefield, Zhao Xingwu dared to slash at Heavenly Emperor Pingyu. This was enough to prove that he was powerful. Kong Lingyuan did not care, but Fang Ping laughed. Then he looked at the Sino Nation people and said, "I want to cultivate in seclusion here now. Within 3 hours, I will try my best to come out of seclusion. If I can't, then I will give up. Seniors, please protect me." Having said that, Fang Ping said in a low voice, "Other than Sino Nation martial artists, the others are not to come within 100 meters of me. I will say this first. If you come near, Fang Ping might attack." As soon as he said that, everyone's expression changed slightly. Soon, Yu Wuhua chuckled and said, "Of course." However, Minister Fang, please be quick. Otherwise, if Qi Huanyu and the others get the treasures, then all our previous efforts will be in vain. Fang Ping nodded and said, "Qi Huanyu and the others will not rashly clash with the other party until I arrive. If I don't go, the probability of them attacking is not high. They can still wait for 3 hours. Then, I wish Minister Fang's origin 1,000 miles a day." Yu Wuhua gave his blessings, smiled, and left the place with some people from the overseas Immortal Islands. Seeing that, Jiang Kuei frowned slightly. He did not say anything and left with Wei Yishan and the other people from Grandmaster. At this moment, the remaining human powerhouses were from the 6 sacred lands. Kong Lingyuan glanced at everyone and said slowly, "Mi Deyong, Hai Ping, Fang Yu will guard the inner circle. You guys keep an eye on them outside." Although everyone was on the same boat now, it did not mean that they wanted to see Fang Ping advance. The advancement of origin could be said to be very safe, but it was also very dangerous. If it is disturbed by someone and chaos is created at the critical moment, it will be a big problem. Everyone, please do your best. I will not let you down. Everyone responded one after another. The group looked like they were facing a formidable enemy. The powerhouses from the 6 sacred lands spread out in all directions, extending the front line to 1,000 meters away. 100 meters away, Kong Lingyuan and a few other powerhouses, each of them guarding a corner, looked extremely solemn. In the middle, Fang Ping looked at the powerhouses around him and suddenly laughed. "Then I, Fang Ping, cannot let everyone down. Since unquestionable Jian can walk 500 meters in a day, I should be a little more than him no matter what, right?" Having said that, Fang Ping sat cross-legged and began to prepare for stepping into origin. It had been some time since he entered rank 8. When the evil sect attacked last year, Fang Ping still remembered that it was around October when he entered rank 8. Until now, it had not even been half a year. However, in this half a year, he had experienced too many things: eliminating the evil sect, entering the restricted area, destroying the Magic City catacombs, attacking the Outland, suppressing everywhere, becoming the Heavenly Division's minister, entering the Emperor's tomb. In total, it had only been 5 months. However, in these 5 months, he had experienced too much. In these 5 months, many people had died. Back then, I said rank. For in a year, rank 12 in 3 years, Fang Ping murmured and laughed. Rank 12? There really was. According to the current classification, Paragon was no longer rank 9. The Fengyun list divided powerhouses into rank 12, rank 10 Paragon, rank 11 Emperor, rank 12 was Emperor. In April, it had been exactly 3 years since his rebirth. I can't hope for rank 12. Rank 9 in 3 years is enough. Fong Ping laughed. Then he would step into Origin today. Fong Ping sat cross-legged and checked the data again. Wealth 2, 5 billion points vitality, 185,800 calories, 185,800 calories mentality, 10,005 hertz, 10,005 hertz, separable consciousness, destructive force, 78 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus energy shield, 1 point/minute plus aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time. I'll hone my body with all my might for an hour. I don't have to care about the imperishable substance. I'll increase as much as I can. If I increase my vitality by 1 calorie now, I'll have a few more cal in the future. Fong Ping made up his mind. Stepping into Origin was just a matter of time. He reserved 3 hours for himself. He wanted to try his best to increase it. Fong Ping's body was covered by countless imperishable substances in the blink of an eye. His entire body turned golden. Only Fong Ping would do something so extravagant and wasteful just to increase his upper limit a little. The imperishable substance was consumed continuously. 10 yuan, 20 yuan, 100 yuan, the overflowing imperishable substance even filled Fong Ping's surroundings with a large amount of golden color. It was too rich. Fong Ping did not care about the consumption at all. Not far away, Kong Lingyuan laughed and shook his head slightly. This guy was the only one. If it were someone else, he would have gone up and beaten them up. The imperishable substance should not be wasted like this, especially at this time when everyone needed it. They were in short supply. Would they not flip out when they saw someone wasting it like this? However, Fong Ping did this. No matter whether the things were Fong Ping's or not, no one had any objections. It was necessary for Fong Ping to become stronger, forget about his own. Even if it was Sino Nation's reserve resources, it was also worth using it. This was because Fong Ping had brought too many miracles to everyone. In the past 2 years, if it were not for Fong Ping, who knew how many people would have died in Sino Nation, and they would not have become so powerful now. With Fong Ping, Tianen, Purple Forbidden City, and Magic City, the 3 major catacombs, Sino Nation had achieved decisive victories. With Fong Ping, Nen, Yunyue, Zhang Weiyu, Qingyaozu, and the rest could enter the top. With Fong Ping, there were today's longevity sword. Ranked 4th on the leaderboard, Wu Quishan ranked 31st, Tianmu ranked 197th. He had changed too many things. Although he was very reckless and often caused trouble for powerhouses, Kong Lingyuan understood that without Fong Ping, it might be more troublesome. The Great War was not far away. If humans continued to be like before, fighting on a small scale, then when that day came, they could only wait for death. The neo-martial arts era had been established less than 100 years ago. When it was first started, Shun and Chun were mainly still defending. When it came to Zhang Tao's generation, they began to attack and counterattack, obtaining some resources to feed back to humans. When it came to Fong Ping's generation, Fong Ping officially pulled the curtains and began a full-scale counterattack. Moreover, he had a winning streak. It was because of this continuous victory that the spirits of humans were lifted. Only then would the 6 holy lands have a unified opinion. There was no other reason. They saw Sino Nation's victory. The 6 holy lands were not won in the past. Although Zhang Tao was strong, he did not show it too obviously. Zhang Tao initially wanted to lie low and fight for a chance for humans at the last moment. After seeing Fong Ping's performance and the opportunities he created, they became invincible martial kings now. It was also because of the continuous victory that the 6 Holy Lands saw Sino-nations' desire to improve, hence the current alliance. Fong Ping, who was only rank 8, had already changed a lot of things. Thinking of these, Kong Lingyuan sighed again and said in a low voice, "I'm old." Beside him, Li Daong chuckled and said, "Yes, I'm old. It's the era of the young." When these words were heard by some people in the distance, they did not feel good. Jiang Kuei, Yu Wuhua, and the rest were so confused that they did not know what to say. Old. Did this group of neo-martial artists really know what old was? However, at this moment, everyone felt a little emotional. Every second counted. This was neo-martial arts. If it was someone else, would they have advanced at this time? No way. Gu Qing was a role model. In order to achieve a perfect state, he had been waiting. After waiting for so many years, he did not advance to true God, all because he wanted to advance in the most perfect state. But in the end, it still came to a regretful end. As they were lamenting, Fong Ping was constantly honing his body. His physique strength was also increasing rapidly under the consumption, regardless of the cost. 186,000 cal, 187,000 cal. It stopped when it reached 190,000 cal. 10,000 cal was a small hurdle. If Fong Ping was given some time, he could quickly grind through it. But now, Fong Ping did not have the time. His vitality had reached 190,000 cal. In order to increase the limit of a few thousand cal, Fong Ping had used up a total of 300 million wealth points. He had 2 billion wealth points left. As for Fong Ping, he did not get up. He did not open his eyes. A scene of the dark space appeared in his mind. Last time, this space was tempting him to enter. Last time, he rejected it. This time, he was not going to reject it. Today, I will enter Origin. After seeing so many Origin DAOs, my origin should be determined. There were thousands of DAOs. Which one should he take? He knew about Old Zhang's path of convergence, Tsang Mao's lazy path, Li Zhen's swordsmanship or massacre path, and Chun Yaozu and the rest's iron blood path of not returning until the enemy was defeated. In the end, Fong Ping discovered that all these paths had something in common. Believe in it. Walk on with determination. In this world, what kind of belief could make you hold on to it for the rest of your life? Sometimes Fong Ping thought, when humanity achieved a great victory and defeated all the strong enemies, would old Zhang still be as strong as he was now? Would he still hold on to his belief and continue to lead humanity down? Maybe he would also be lost. Once the origin path was lost, it would definitely be hindered, unable to continue forward. I'm just a small fry. I don't have old Zhang's great love, old Wu's pain of losing his daughter, and I definitely don't have Senior Tian's generation's stubborn belief to avenge their compatriots, to avenge their comrades, to fight for humanity's rise. I'm a selfish person. I don't know if I'll be lost in the future, if I'll continue to fight for humanity. I don't know if I'll be able to continue like this the moment the darkness arrives. I don't know if I'll still be able to shoulder such a heavy responsibility when old Zhang and the rest really die in battle. I don't know either. The only thing I know is that I want to protect my home. I want to protect my family. I want my family and I to be able to live together, even if it's just an ordinary life. At this moment, countless thoughts surfaced in his mind. Fong Ping laughed at himself. I'm just a small fry. I'm just a small fry. I'm just a selfish guy, even if I pretend to be a leader. But I don't love this world. I don't love this world. I don't love this world. I only love my home, my family, my friends, and my teachers. If teacher Wang Jing did not die in battle that day, would I have initiated the Battle of Magic City? No. If old Zhang and the rest did not pour their hearts out today, would I have brought people here to fight to the death? No. Because they are good to me, I will be good to them. This is me, Fong Ping. I can't be like Tianmu. His entire family died in battle and still remain calm, leading the military department powerhouses to continue suppressing everywhere, obeying military orders, and attacking wherever I point. Perhaps the only ones who can make me persevere for the rest of my life are my parents who raised me, my younger sister who grew up with me, and those who love me. If there comes a day when I can't even persevere for these, then let the origin collapse. A smile appeared on Fang Ping's face. If there comes a day when even these people can't make me persevere, what's the point of practicing martial arts? If you don't even care about the people closest to you, who else can you care about? His origin was flawed. Fang Ping knew. This was the flaw. When he gave up on his family and all these, he became aloof and indifferent to everything. He would no longer be the Fang Ping of today. Rumble. In his mind, a sudden clap of thunder sounded. In the void, Fang Ping's silhouette took a step forward and walked toward the darkness. Rumble. In the darkness, a small island that could only accommodate one person appeared. Fang Ping stepped onto the small island. Origin. Rumble. The rumble sounded again. At this moment, the entire space battlefield seemed to tremble slightly. In the origin world, he stepped into the origin. Resonance. In the depths of the space battlefield, in the infinite darkness, there seemed to be a flash of light. It disappeared in a flash. In the darkness, Fang Ping continued walking forward. As he walked, he left black floating reefs along the way. The further he walked, the bigger the island in the darkness. Bigger. It's so small. It's suitable for people to stand on. In the darkness, Fang Ping roared at the sky. With a rumble, the small island grew a little bigger. In the origin space, where the will was, there was nothing it could not do. Walk the path of the sword. There is nothing the path of the sword cannot break. Walk the path of the saber, wherever the long saber points. There is nothing to stop it. Walk the path of all things. Everything is for me to use. All paths return to one. The path of return to one. There is nothing it cannot do. A voice full of temptation sounded in Fang Ping's mind. Temptation. This was something all martial artists would face at this time. If your will was not strong enough, you might be bewitched and eventually walk on that uncertain path. In the dark void, Fang Ping looked around and seemed to see people talking to him from all directions. Fang Ping laughed and said slowly, "Is there such a path where one can achieve emperor in a second? If there is, I'll leave. If there isn't, get lost." A thunderous roar exploded in the dark void. Fang Ping looked down on him. "My path, I'll walk it. What you say doesn't matter." Rumble. The void exploded again. There was light in front. Chapter 9, 75. Rumble. At this moment, it was not just Fang Ping's origin space that was shaking. The entire space battlefield was shaking. Qi Huanyu looked at the shaking space. At first, he was at a loss. Then, as if remembering something, he frowned. What's happening? This is the space battlefield shaking? What would cause the space battlefield to shake? He did not know. However, he had a vague feeling that something bad was about to happen. At this moment, somewhere not far away from him, where the altar was, the gray matter on the outer layer of the 4 statues shattered. What's happening? Why is the space battlefield shaking? Is the owner of this place awakening? No. At this moment, the gray matter on one of the statue's cheeks shattered completely. In its eyes, 2 beams of light pierced through the void. The light was dazzling. Someone is walking on the origin path. Damn it! It seems to be resonating with the source world. This is bad. If this goes on, the other party might be able to awaken the owner of this place. Why is it resonating? Could it be that the other party's origin path is similar to the owner of this place? perhaps the essence das of both sides are similar, and some parts of them are overlapping. These powerhouses knew something about the source world. It was possible for the origin das of experts to coincide. A part of it, but not all of it. Some of the powerhouse's disciples might be walking on the origin path inherited by the powerhouses. However, as long as there was a slight deviation or partial overlap, it would not cause the path to be unable to continue. Qi Huanyu's path was overlapping 999 meters, which was why he could not continue. Now, the person who was breaking through might also have some overlap with the owner of this place, which caused the space battlefield to shake. If this went on, the owner of this place might really be awakened. If that happened, some of their plans would be ruined. They were prepared to let an emperor-level powerhouse control the other party. Moreover, it was not that they did not do anything in the space battlefield all these years. They had also found some things that could control the origin demons. Moreover, they were endlessly depleting the origin chi of this place. Once the owner woke up and found out about this, he would also attack them. Faceless, go and kill him. At this moment, the old man whose cheeks had shattered said coldly. The next moment, a statue in the east shattered. A powerhouse about 2 meters tall stood up. He was wearing a mask that seemed to be one with his cheeks, so his facial features could not be seen clearly. I'll be right back, Faceless said indifferently. The old man, whose eyes were shining, said in a deep voice, Be careful. There are quite a few reciprocity experts there. We've been asleep for many years and are no longer the same as before. Faceless let out a faint smile and said, Azure Dragon, are you still worried about me? In the end, Origin Source was just Origin Source. True gods were legends. I've exhausted them for a long time. Even if I haven't reached my peak, killing Origin Realm experts is like slaughtering chickens and dogs. Origin and true divinity were two completely different realms. Ordinary origins had a vitality limit of 100,000 calories and above. Even the weakest true god had 800,000 calories of vitality in origin. This was a qualitative change. After saying that, Faceless added, There are a lot of people over there. Watch the gate of all living things carefully. Wait for the divine emissary to take over with you. I'll be back as soon as possible. With that said, Faceless disappeared from the altar in the blink of an eye. After he left, the other 3 people whispered to each other and soon fell silent. The gate of all living things had been nurtured to its final stage. Now they only needed to wait for the divine emissary to hand it over. They could only leave if the oracle brought the order of the church. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to leave rashly. Rumble! The void was still shaking. The space battlefield was shaking. Fong Ping's origin world was also shaking. In the origin world, Fong Ping continued to move forward, laughing. Bigger. It's so small. How can you let me go? Boom. No matter how big the floating island was. Bigger still. Rumble. The floating island continued to grow. Give me some sunlight. I don't like the dark. In the darkness, a ray of light appeared. Fong Ping had seen Song Mao's origin world. That was a real paradise. Looking at the light source in his origin world that was like a light bulb, Fong Ping was furious and shouted, Brighter! The light became brighter. Fong Ping turned around, looking at the floating island with an area of about 100 square meters behind him, shaking his head slightly. It was too small. Unfortunately, he couldn't expand it anymore. Right now, he could either walk on the origin path or continue to expand the floating island, like Song Mao walking on the true infinite path. But that would take far too long. He didn't have that time. Now, he could only open up his own origin path. Fong Ping looked at the endless dark void outside the floating island and said softly, Even if I'm not as good as Song Mao, the path I open up can't be too bad. My path must be wide. As soon as he said that, Fong Ping punched out, and the void exploded. Fong Ping punched out light in the darkness. A pit appeared, separating it from the surrounding darkness. Old Zhang's path is 10,000 meters wide. My path is wider than his. Fong Ping roared, bombarding madly, and the pit kept expanding. Fong Ping did not walk forward, but along the floating island, bombarding on both sides continuously. My path must be wider. Only with a wide path can I go far. For the first time stepping on the origin path, the wider the path, the more solid the foundation. Otherwise, if he missed this opportunity, he could only open it up slowly in the future, which would take up more time. Rumble! The darkness in front was blasted apart bit by bit. 10 meters wide, 20 meters wide, Fong Ping was like a tireless Iron Man, waving both fists, incomparably crazy, bombarding the void continuously. 50 meters, 100 meters. Width, height, he wanted it all. He did not want a narrow and winding path. At the same time, in the void, a few figures appeared. Fong Ping laughed and said, Dad, Gun, you're here too. Then, let's open the path together. It was not just these few figures. After a while, Old Man Li, Chun Yunxi, Wang Jinyang, one after another, the figures appeared again. Fong Ping rubbed his chin, laughed, and said, So many people? Have I ever thought of protecting so many people? No one answered. Everything here was just some illusion, the manifestation of willpower. One by one, the figures joined the ranks of opening the path. At this moment, these people had no difference in strength. They were all manifested according to Fong Ping's willpower. One by one, they began bombarding the void. 10 people, 20 people, gradually, Fong Ping's expression changed. That's enough. I'm only guarding my little home. That's enough. Don't show your head anymore. F***, Big Lion, you're here too? What's the situation? Old Wang, what does your little wife have to do with me? Why did you bring her here? Ironhead, that's enough. What are you people from CCMEU doing here? At this moment, more and more figures appeared in the void. Fong Ping was terrified. F***, this was not right. I'm only guarding my little home. Why did you add more people here? And more and more. That's enough. I didn't think of protecting everyone. Fong Ping was about to break down in grief. Mother of Kerr, what's going on? Aren't you forcing me to follow old Zhang's path? He vaguely remembered that old Zhang's path seemed to be like this. Countless figures lining the path to welcome him. I don't need it. I just want to protect my little home. Why are there so many people here? Fong Ping scolded. That's enough. It's fine that you came alone, but you even brought your family with you. What do you think this place is? Scolding aside, watching these people opening the path together, Fong Ping mumbled, after opening the path, walk on your own. As soon as he said that, Fong Ping looked at the void in despair, crying and yelling, Old Vice-Chancellor, you're already dead. You're here even though you're dead. It's fine that you're here, but what are you doing? Are you holding a school meeting? At this moment, the old Vice-Chancellor who died in the catacombs years ago appeared. Many teachers and students followed behind him. Most of them were people who had died in battle. Fong Ping saw familiar faces. He saw Xie Lei's girlfriend, Zhang Ziwei. He saw the little fatty Guo Sheng, who had promised to deliver packages for him. He saw Jean Lei, who had participated in the championship with him. He saw Huang Jing, who had died in battle a few days ago. Fong Ping's eyes were red. You're all dead. Is there still a need to protect the dead? You're all dead. Go. Too many people had died in the past few years. He had witnessed the deaths of countless martial artists with his own eyes. MCMAU's graveyard had added hundreds of lone graves. He had sworn that the southern area's graveyard could not hold so many people. After the Skygate battle that year, he had said that no more people would die. However, people were still dying these days. His classmates were dead. His teachers were dead. Was he willing to accept this? He was not. What was his little home? Were there really only those 3 people? Fong Ping did not know. He had already been assimilated. Perhaps Zhang Tao was the same as him back then. They had both been forced to this point step by step. Their original thoughts might not have been great. They might have only thought of themselves and their families. Protect the world? They did not have such great ambitions. They did not have such great abilities. However, at this moment, in Fong Ping's source world, there were more and more silhouettes. He even saw Zhang Tao. Old Zhang, you're joining in the fun. Can I protect you? Go, go. Do I have that ability? Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. How can I protect you? You should protect me first. Why are you joining in the fun as well? The others seemed to be illusory. However, at this moment, the old Zhang that appeared in the void seemed a little different. His gaze seemed to be more human-like. He looked around at the silhouettes around him, at the darkness, at the path that was being opened up continuously. The silhouette seemed to be smiling, as if giving a thumbs up. It seemed to be saying, "Son of a B***, TCH, you still fell into the trap that I set for you." Fong Ping seemed to have understood it. He seemed to have heard it too. Suddenly, he scolded loudly, "Get lost! I've never thought about this at all. Get lost as far as you can, bastard. You deliberately made me some **T minister. You have bad intentions. I'm not as stupid as you. You want me to walk the path of an emperor, **T, the path of an emperor. In this world, it's enough to protect myself and my family. Do you really think I'm a saint? I don't have that ability. Take everyone away." Old Zhang's illusory figure ignored him. He seemed to be laughing even more happily. In the next moment, old Zhang's illusory figure dashed into the darkness and began to open up a path. His speed was extremely fast. He seemed to be stronger than the others. Outside the king's battleground, Zhang Tao was slightly shocked. His gaze moved slightly. After a while, he murmured softly, this kid seems to overlap with me a little." Beside him, Li Jun looked at him. Zhang Tao did not speak, but he stood up, looking at the king's battleground. A smile gradually appeared on his face. His smile grew brighter and brighter. "I have a successor, a true successor. Although he has never learned my antiques or learned any martial arts knowledge from me, this is not important. What's important is that their ideals and paths are the same. Even if he has his own path, there are places where his path overlaps with mine. This is enough." Origin, rank 9. Zhang Tao murmured softly. He had stepped into Origin. 3 years. He had entered Origin in 3 years. Right then, Zhang Tao suddenly threw a punch at Daoist Fengyan, exploding his illusory figure and 2 stone steels again. King Wu! The illusory figure appeared again, and Daoist Fengyan screamed. Damn it! Why did I provoke him again? Why did this lunatic explode the stone steels and my projection all of a sudden? The others looked at Zhang Tao as well. However, Zhang Tao did not care about that and laughed. Awesome! Are you unhappy? Everyone fell silent. What is this? Zhang Tao laughed again. I feel great now. I feel so good that I want to fight someone. After thinking about it, damn, Ping Yu, you actually dared to kill Zhao Xingwu in front of me. Who gave you face? With that said, Zhang Tao exploded the void with a punch. Crack! The void exploded. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu frowned and walked out of the void. Just as he was about to speak, Zhang Tao stepped out in the next second, breaking the void and laughing. Come, let's have a fight to liven things up. With that said, the pointer in Zhang Tao's hand suddenly appeared, turning into a blood saber in a blink of an eye. Nobody interfere. I want to kill him. If you guys interfere, then I'll kill you all. Throwing down these words, Zhang Tao split heaven and earth with a saber. Bastard! Heavenly Emperor Ping, you nearly vomited blood. What is this? He did not provoke this bastard without rhyme or reason, but Zhang Tao actually attacked him. The matter of killing Zhao Xingwu earlier was also long over. He did not continue to attack because he gave Zhang Tao face. Who would have thought that this guy was crazy to this extent? Ha ha! Old thing, damn it, to dare let your people kill human martial artists, courting death. Zhang Tao was incomparably arrogant, laughing crazily. The blood saber in his hand was so huge that it could split the sky. Slash after slash slashed out, splitting the void and splitting heaven and earth. Even the radiant sun could not block the saber light. In all directions, some powerhouses made a move one after another, scattering the aftershock. Lunatic! Crazy! This guy is really crazy. This peaceful battle to the death, for no reason. What is he thinking? Everyone was dumbfounded. Heavenly Emperor Ping, you was an ancient venerable emperor, after all. Zhang Tao could go crazy just like that. It had been a while since he killed Zhao Xingwu. As for killing humans, the people of Pingyu Heaven were all dead. Even Gu Qing was killed. Yet you still want to fight him? Was it worth it? At this moment, even Fate King was frowning. This guy seemed to be getting more and more crazy. This time, he brought all the resurrected true monarchs here. Was he going to fight him to the death? In the distance, Li Zhu looked at Zhang Tao, then at the king's battlefield, frowning slightly. Zhang Tao seemed very excited. He destroyed the stone monument for no reason. Now no one could see anything. What was he hiding? Someone had advanced to true monarch? No, advancing to true monarch. He did not need to do this. Could it be Li Zhu frowned again? Could it be Fong Ping? Fong Ping had advanced to rank 9? Li Zhu vaguely had some ideas, but he still did not understand. Could Fong Ping advancing to rank 9 turn the whole situation around? At this moment, there were not many people coming out from the king's battlefield. Most of them were from the human side. When the remaining people from Mount Wanwu came out, Fong Ping and the others were still facing a desperate situation. The news of Fong Ping breaking through to 99 had not spread yet. As for how Fong Ping and the others turned the situation around, it was still unknown. And now, Zhang Tao suddenly went crazy. Could it be that Fong Ping breaking through to rank 9 really had the ability to turn the situation around? Li Zhu did not understand and did not think about it anymore. In his heart, however, he had a vague judgment. I'm afraid it's 99 refinements. Advancing to 99 refinements. Maybe it's beyond the limits of the origin realm. Even if an ordinary rank 9 really surpassed the limits and was stronger than Qi Huanyu, there was still a limit. If one person was not a match, what about 10? But Fong Ping, it was hard to say. This guy had many tricks up his sleeves. He was extremely cunning and perhaps even more terrifying. I'm afraid the martial artists who entered this time will be in danger. Li Zhu thought about this again. This time, there were more than 100 powerhouses in Godland. This time, it might be really dangerous. Could it be that they were all wiped out? This thought rose in Li Zhu's heart. Before this, he did not consider this. Even if there were a lot of changes previously, while he was thinking about this, in the distance, Heavenly Emperor Ping, you roared angrily and smashed the blood saber with one palm. Right after smashing the blood saber, Zhang Tao laughed maniacally, condensed the blood saber again, and rushed forward in a frenzy. Buzz. The void shattered, and Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu's sleeves were also cut instantly. As for Zhang Tao, at this moment, directly shredded his shirt, holding the long saber, roaring wildly to teach him a lesson. Barbaric, crude, tyrannical, human devil. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu did not know how many times he had cursed in his heart. Lunatic, what did this old man do to you? Wasn't Gu Qin killed by Zhao Xingwu? It was all in the past now. This human leader, this generation's emperor, actually wanted to fight him at this time. Heavenly Emperor Ping, you could feel some gloating coming from the void, and he was about to go crazy from being sullen. This idiot, did he really not care that he and I are being watched like monkeys? Both of us are injured, and in the end, others will benefit. Is this what he wants to see? How did such a person become the human leader? At the same time, in the origin space, Fong Ping was also violently and crazily opening the path. I wanted to be 10,000 meters wide. Fong Ping wanted a 10,000 meters wide path. It was too narrow. He would not walk. If it was so narrow, how could he walk long? But this path, the wider it was opened, the harder it was to move forward. The path opened by others was 10 meters wide, so he just had to walk forward along the 10 meters wide path. But Fong Ping insisted on opening a 10,000 meters wide path. There was no other reason. Old Zhang seemed to be like this. I can't be left behind by old Zhang too much. It was fine if it was not as far as him, but it should not be a problem to be as wide as him. Right? Rumble. The darkness was opened up. More and more people joined in, helping to open up the path together. Fong Ping could not be bothered anymore. Whatever. Come in, if you have the guts. Let's see how many of you can come in. 500 meters wide, 1,000 meters wide, 2,000 meters wide. The next moment, Fong Ping's expression changed. His figure seemed to have become illusory. What was going on? No, this seems to have a limit. I'm almost at my limit. Damn it. I haven't left yet. Fong Ping looked at the path that had just been opened up. It was about 3,000 meters wide. As for the length, 5 meters? How was this a path? This was just a foundation. No, I can't do this. Fong Ping's heart trembled. He roared, "Open up the path! Open up the path! Don't make it too wide. Open up!" At the same time, outside, Kong Lingyuan and the rest had felt the void tremble for a long time. But at this moment, they were all dumbfounded. Where was Fong Ping? Why was he still in closed-door cultivation? Entering the origin path was very fast. Even Li Changsheng, who walked 300 meters in a day, would only take a few minutes. It had been almost 20 minutes since Fong Ping started moving, right? In the end, his Tao illusion had yet to appear. It was not that it did not appear. At this moment, everyone also saw that there seemed to be an illusion in the void. It might be Fong Ping, but under Fong Ping's feet, there did not seem to be any Tao appearing. This was the first time everyone had seen this situation under normal circumstances. Even if one walked more than 10 meters, there would still be a slight reflection in the outside world. But did Fong Ping move? Kong Lingyuan swallowed and said bitterly, he can't have just stepped into the origin space and not confirmed his direction, right? Fong Ping's situation was a little odd. A weak rank. 9 meant that he had entered the origin space, but did not take a step. However, a weak rank 9 entering the stage would not cause too much of a movement. Fong Ping was a double 9 who advanced. The demon emperor walked 500 meters a day. You did not even take a step. Li Daong rubbed his eyes and said, I think he's gone. I think I saw him move a little. Yes, he moved a little. A small step. Maybe his eyes were playing tricks on him. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, He's moving. Everyone fixed their eyes on him. Indeed, he had moved. Fong Ping was walking in the void. 1 meter, 2 meters, the projection at this moment was actually a reflection of the origin world. There might be a difference, but the difference would not be too big. Everyone was dumbfounded. He was walking too slowly. Initially, they thought that Fong Ping would not be the same as the Demon Emperor, but at least he would not be worse than Li Changsheng. He could walk 300 meters, right? But now, Kong Lingyuan could not be more bitter. It was over. He had advanced for nothing. With this speed, how far could he walk? The key was that in the origin space, there was only hope of staying in the origin space when he first stepped in. The rest of the time, he would be unconscious. If he wanted to advance in the future, he would have to walk step by step. This time was very limited. Fong Ping had already exceeded everyone's expectations by staying until now. The key was that if he had stayed until now, he would have to walk a little more. At this moment, they were not the only ones who were dumbfounded. Further away, Jiang Kuei and the rest were watching too. As they watched, they were all dumbfounded. After a while, someone whispered, "Can Fong Ping walk to the limit of rank 1 origin?" 0 to 99 meters was the rank 1 origin realm. Could Fong Ping walk 99 meters? Previously, everyone thought that Fong Ping, who was a double 9, might break the record today and surpass the Demon Emperor. Now, it seemed that he might really break the record. They had never seen anyone walking so slowly on the origin path. Under normal circumstances, a weak rank 9 would have no problem walking 50 to 60 meters on the first step, right? But Fong Ping, they really doubted if he could do it. Looking at Fong Ping's sluggish gait in the void, walking 1 meter was like taking his life. It would be amazing if he could walk 50 meters. Everyone was dumbfounded. It was unexpected, shocked the whole world. This guy was so long just now. Could it be that he was bewitched in the origin world? Someone muttered, "I thought it was another Demon Emperor." Now it seems the human world might have really overestimated this Minister Fong. Which prodigy did not shock the 3 realms when they stepped out of origin? Demon Emperors walked 500 meters a day. Li Changsheng of the human realm also crossed 300 meters in a day. Of course, the 10,000 Dao as one was relatively easier. No matter what, these people were fully deserving of being prodigies. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was considered a prodigy if he walked 200 meters. However, if he walked less than 100 meters, although he was considered a genius to ordinary martial artists, it was really nothing to them. Do you guys think that he's opening up the width of the path? Idiot! Just when someone had doubts, someone immediately refuted, "This guy is not an idiot. Even if he wants to widen it, now is not the time. Moreover, if he's not a true god, there's not much difference in widening it, right? It's the same even if he widens it again when he's at the limit. Moreover, it's very difficult to expand the width. It's all fixed. Maybe he's different. What's different about him?" Someone sneered, then said in a low voice, "But at least he's entered origin. There's still a transformation. He'll be stronger more or less. This guy was strong to begin with. Now, he's considered a top-notch origin powerhouse. He can't be underestimated." Although that was what he said, this person was still somewhat speechless. Fong Ping at rank 8 was terrifyingly strong. Initially, he thought that when he reached origin, he would definitely shock the world. Now it seemed like it was hard to say. This guy's origin path was so difficult, his future path would be even more difficult. The people of the extraterrestrial, immortal island were discussing. The people of Outland were discussing. At the same time, Faceless, who had just arrived nearby, looked at Fong Ping and the rest who were more than 10 li away from him. He saw the shadow walking leisurely and sneered, extremely playful. Was this the origin? who had advanced. Initially, he thought that advancing at this time could cause resonance in the space battlefield, and he might be another future supreme powerhouse. After all, being able to resonate with the owner of this place meant that his path had a good future. Not to mention becoming an emperor level like the 36 saints. Even a normal emperor level was already an amazing achievement. Who knew it would be so slow? This guy, if he could become a true god, he would already be considered lucky. No, you won't even have the chance to become a true god. Faceless chuckled softly. It was all this guy's fault, almost spoiling the big plan. If the owner of this place had really revived, then it would be troublesome. Then I'll use you as a blood sacrifice first. Faceless chuckled softly. In the blink of an eye, he broke through the air and headed straight for Fong Ping. At this moment, Kong Lingyuan and the rest also felt the danger. The next moment, Kong Lingyuan roared, "Danger! Stop the enemy!" The loud roar resounded through the sky. Yu Wuhua even shouted, "True God! Damn it, it's really a true God! Be careful! True God!" At this moment, Fong Ping opened his eyes. Golden light burst from his body, illuminating the entire world. It was snow white. At this moment, this place was as bright as day, not far away. The figure of that faceless was also clearly reflected in everyone's eyes. Seeing that Fong Ping had awakened, Kong Lingyuan immediately shouted through voice transmission, "You leave first!" "Leave?" Fong Ping looked at his golden body, condensing continuously, rubbing his chin. Can I defeat him?" As for how many meters he had walked, Fong Ping was embarrassed. It was almost 100 meters. But I'm wide enough. 3,000 meters wide. As for how much the origin increased, whether it was 0, 1 times, Fong Ping felt that it should be more than that, right? I keep feeling that I'm terrifyingly strong now. I keep feeling that this guy might not be able to defeat me. Fong Ping shot a glance at Faceless, who had already rushed over and continued to rub his chin. Should I try now? P.S. 3 chapters with more than 20,000 words. Forget about missing chapters. It was impossible to finish updating in a day. My head would explode. Chapter 976. Faceless attacked. Kong Lingyuan and the rest were extremely nervous. All the powerhouses began to gather. It was already the limit of what they could do that they did not disperse. When a true god-level powerhouse attacked, the powerhouses did not dare to flee easily. If they scattered and fled, they might die faster. Seeing this scene, Faceless, who was walking in the air, chuckled. Not bad. Facing a true god, these people did not run. This was much stronger than he expected. At this moment, Faceless was extremely relaxed and indifferent. Crossing his arms, Faceless looked at Fong Ping, who was still emitting golden light, and laughed. Do you know, you almost ruined my plan when you stepped into Origin here. He was indifferent. Fong Ping was not anxious either. Looking at him, he thought for a while, and asked, "Were you a weak true god back then?" As soon as he said this, many people looked at him strangely. The so-called weak true god, the weakest peak, was for powerhouses of the same rank. True gods were invincible. This was a real myth. Even in ancient times, true gods were overlords. Adding the word weak, this was considered a provocation. Jiang Kuei and the rest were surprised. Fong Ping broke through rank 9 and did not go far on Origin path. Was this guy so full of himself? Weak true god. At this moment, Faceless also noticed that the space battlefield was no longer trembling, so he was not so anxious. He had not spoken for thousands of years. At this time, he said with interest, "In your eyes, what kind of true god is considered powerful?" At least 1,000,000 cal of vitality comparable to Origin. As Fong Ping spoke, he observed his own data. Wealth, 2 billion points. Vitality, 219,999 calories. 219,999 calories. Mentality, 10,455 hertz. 104,555 hertz. Divided consciousness. Destruction power, 85 yuan. 85 yuan. Origin, Stage 1. Increase 9% plus 30%. Storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus. Energy shield, 1 point/minute plus aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time. Vitality, 220,000 calories, an increase of 39%. This was somewhat beyond Fang Ping's expectations. He was Stage 1 origin. Origin path traveled about 90 meters, so the increase was only 9%. But the 30% that was added later, Fang Ping understood now. There was an increase in the horizontal as well. It was just that it was not as good as the vertical. The vertical 3,000 meters had an increase of 2 times. The horizontal widening seemed to be an increase of 0. 1 times of 1,000 meters? It's equivalent to 420,000 calories vitality, with an increase of about 40%. It's less than 600,000 calories vitality. Fang Ping made a judgment in his heart. If he included combat techniques, divine weapons, and the like, even though his divine weapon was no longer with him, but with all of them, his limit should reach about 600,000 calories of vitality. However, his control wasn't high. Under normal circumstances, he could only control 60%. Of course, he might be a little stronger when he was fighting with his life on the line. His maximum outburst might be close to 400,000 calories of vitality. However, he was still very far away from becoming a true god. Fang Ping was doing the math. Faceless laughed. 1,000,000 cal vitality. Fang Ping unleashed an attack, casually, smiling. This is around 1,000 calories. Faceless was also a true god-level powerhouse. He smiled and said, "If that's the case, I shouldn't be considered a weak, true god, like you said back then. I'm afraid I have 1,000,000 cal of vitality." The two of them chatted like they were friends. Kong Lingyuan and the others were worried. They gathered around Fang Ping. Fang Ping did not care about this. He said, "What about now? After so many years, you should be close to your limit. I see that your golden body is dim, and your strength has declined greatly. Are you sure you still have half of your strength back then?" Faceless laughed. He laughed a little maniacally. This guy was asking him this now. Did he want to try fighting him? Since when did an origin powerhouse come across a true god, not run away immediately, but ask about the true god's strength? "My strength has declined a lot, but you origin powerhouses," Faceless laughed and said indifferently, "That's because you're really very weak." As soon as he finished speaking, Faceless struck a rank 9 powerhouse in the crowd. Fang Ping's movements were also extremely fast. With a flash of golden light, he appeared in front of the other party, waving his fist and unleashing a move. A loud boom was heard. Fang Ping took a few steps back. He shook his hands lightly and said with a smile, "I'm a little curious. How much strength did you use?" "Very strong. It was at least around 200,000 calories of vitality destructive power, and this was just a casual strike from the other party. However, 200,000 calories of vitality destructive power had already exceeded the limit of most 5th or 6th origin powerhouses. Even some 7th or 8th origin martial artists could only do so. The other party's casual strike was comparable to the other party's peak attack. It had the strength to kill martial artists above 5th origin. It was indeed terrifying, but this was not enough. Fang Ping's explosive power might not be strong enough, but the strength of his golden body was there. At this moment, even if Qi Huanyu unleashed his full strength, he might not be able to seriously injure Fang Ping, provided that Fang Ping did not move at all and let the other party attack him. Faceless' expression did not change, but his pupils contracted slightly. The other party actually took his move so easily. This newly ascended source was much stronger than he had expected. At first, he only paid attention to Kong Lingyuan and the others, but now he turned all his attention to Fang Ping. After a long time, he said slowly, "Golden Body 9 refinements." He felt it. The other party's vitality seemed to be similar to his, and the quality was actually the same. This meant that the other party's strength was the same as his. And this seemed to be something that only a Golden Body 9 refinements possessed. It's Golden Body 9 refinements. Fang Ping said with a smile, "What's your name? Where are you from? Also, you haven't answered my question. How much of your strength did you use? Let's talk things over. There's no need to fight and kill each other the moment we meet. You don't have the right to question me." As soon as he said that, Faceless moved as fast as teleportation. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Fang Ping and slammed his palm toward his head. Kong, Lingyuan, and the others beside him did not even have time to react when the palm was unleashed. Fang Ping was also a beat too late. The golden glow on his head flickered. He did not manage to evade and took the palm head-on. Rumble! A metallic sound rang out. Fang Ping's entire body sank into the ground, the golden glow on his head dimming. Faceless' expression changed. At this time, Fang Ping also threw a punch. Faceless clearly did not expect the other party to have the strength to fight back. He did not evade, and was hit in the chest by Fang Ping's punch. Rumble! Another rumble was heard. Faceless did not move, but he did not attack either. With a strange look on his face, he said slowly, "Interesting. Very interesting. You've actually surpassed the limits of the origin realm. No, the feeling you give me is that you can be even stronger." Fang Ping did not unleash his full strength. His aura, the strength of his physique, the strength of his vitality, the feeling he gave Faceless was that this person could be even stronger. However, at this moment, the other party's attack did not seem that strong. Fang Ping also stepped out of the ground, laughing. "You're not as strong as I thought. I initially thought that a true god like you, even without any replenishment, could theoretically unleash 70% of your strength without a problem. But now, I'm afraid it's really only half." The palm that Faceless gave him was very powerful. The powerful Fang Ping's skull had some cracks. His golden body was so powerful that it could crack his skull with one palm. His vitality strength was probably close to 500,000 calories. If it were any other rank 9, anyone, including Qi Huanyu, might have their skulls smashed. Even if they did not die, 1 or 2 more blows would definitely kill them. This was a true god. However, Fang Ping's skull only cracked a little. Fang Ping chuckled and said slowly, "Are you guys from that evil sect or something? You should know that the people I hate the most are these guys. I was in a good mood when I advanced today. Why don't you give me a few moves out of the blue? Maybe I, Fang Ping, can really slay a god to celebrate today." As soon as he said that, the surroundings trembled a little. Jiang Kuei and the rest were very surprised. Fang Ping's origin had not gone far. Why was he so confident? No, he was very powerful. So powerful that it was slightly beyond their expectations. Faceless' speed was too fast earlier. His palm strike gave him a feeling that it was extremely powerful. If it were someone else, even Kong Lingyuan, they might not be able to withstand it. Fang Ping, on the other hand, had blocked it. Although his golden body cracked slightly, it was not to the point where it would explode. This guy was a little too powerful. Slay a god. Faceless' gaze was deep. He said softly, You want to kill me? Is it impossible? Fong Ping grinned. How much energy do you have left? If your energy is depleted, you might be able to kill most rank 9s with your physique alone. But can you kill me? Old man, are you afraid? If you're not, why aren't you attacking me now? Afraid. Faceless laughed. His silhouette moved again. In the blink of an eye, a pair of white, jade-like palms appeared in front of Fong Ping. The palms pierced through the void, directly, slapping toward Fong Ping's cheek. Fong Ping stomped on the void and took a few steps back, but the palms continued to extend, continuing to chase after him. Fong Ping let out a low growl. Both of his hands formed a knife-like shape, waving them rapidly. Slash after slash, he slashed at the white, jade-like palms. Vitality surged. The surrounding powerhouses felt the pressure and chi waves. One by one, they retreated outward rapidly. Fong Ping laughed. Go. I'll play with this faceless guy. Fong Ping, go. Fong Ping let out a low growl. Faceless let out a cold humph. He covered the sky with one hand, grabbing at those people directly. Fong Ping roared furiously. He kicked out with one leg, shattering his energy palm immediately. At this moment, Fong Ping grinned brightly. I can become stronger the more I fight. Fighting was the best way to improve control. A weakened true god, this was simply the best target for training. Fong Ping liked this faceless too much. This was great. He had never seen such a suitable target for himself. This was the real whetstone. Perhaps today, his control of strength could be upgraded to a new realm. After Fong Ping's energy palms exploded, Faceless' speed was also extremely fast. A palm imprinted on Fong Ping's Bai Hui. Fong Ping landed on the ground. The space battlefield seemed to shake for a moment. The earth rumbled. Fong Ping leaped into the air in an instant, appearing in front of Faceless again. He laughed. Do you think my Bai Hui is a weakness? No, I'm a Golden Body 9 refinements. Golden Body 9 refinements. This was the real Golden Body. Fong Ping shouted again. Go away. I don't need your help. Wait for me to slay the god. He roared again. Although Kong Lingyuan and the others were worried, they knew that Fong Ping might have some reservations, so they left quickly. Faceless did not stop them this time. He actually did not want to stop them anymore. He was in trouble. This person was extremely strong. Once those people came to help again, he did not care about ordinary origins. However, Kong Lingyuan and the others could still hurt him. Junior, you're very confident. Your Golden Body 9 refinements entering origin has indeed exceeded my expectations. But today you must die. Having said that, a long sword appeared in Faceless' hand. Die. With a low roar, the long sword slashed at Fong Ping's neck. Clang! A deafening roar was heard. Fong Ping tilted his neck, grabbing at the long sword with his bare hands. His speed was also extremely fast. He grabbed the long sword in an instant, but he felt an incomparably sharp edge piercing through his palm. Drip! A small wound appeared on his palm. A drop of golden blood dripped, and the wound healed in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping grinned. At this moment, his smile was incomparably brilliant. This guy might really only have a limit outburst of about 500,000 calories, or so. Was he a true god? A fake and inferior guy? If that's the case, then don't leave. Fong Ping growled. The small city descended instantly. It did not trap the other party, but surrounded him in all directions. Faceless snorted coldly. How dare the other party? He actually wanted to surround and kill him. Did he really think that he could not kill him just because he was not at his peak? He was underestimating a true god powerhouse. Myriad swords art. Faceless growled. The long sword in his hand suddenly dispersed into thousands of small swords. Countless small swords charged straight at Fong Ping. Not only that, even the small city was within his range of attack. Fong Ping's speed was also extremely fast. He did not care about all this, heading straight for Faceless. Halfway there, he encountered small swords. Fong Ping ignored them and charged straight at them. Puff, puff, puff. The small swords left streaks of bloody marks on Fong Ping's golden body. However, Fong Ping laughed maniacally. He was already close to Faceless. Neo-martial artists were more adept at close combat. Fong Ping's speed was extremely fast. He did not care about his injuries. As soon as he stepped forward, his hands formed into eagle claws and directly clawed at Faceless' eyes. Humph! Faceless snorted coldly. Countless small swords gathered again, merging into a long sword. The sword pierced at Fong Ping's throat. 9 refinements of golden body. Could one not die after 9 refinements? Clang! There was a crisp sound. Fong Ping's left hand formed a palm and grabbed the longsword again. His right hand clenched into a fist and punched at Faceless' right arm. Clang! Like 2 golden men, both of their physiques were extremely strong. When they exchanged blows, there was a series of booming sounds. In the space battlefield, the void could no longer be shattered. At this moment, the aftermath of the battle spilled out, stirring up waves of air. Far away, Kong, Ling Yuan watched the 2 golden men colliding in the void, his gaze solemn. Fong Ping was very strong. He was stronger than he had expected. However, Fong Ping still seemed to be at a disadvantage. He was constantly in a passive state of taking hits. The other party is a true god after all. As Kong Lingyuan spoke, Jiang Kui said with some seriousness, "How far has Fong Ping's origin gone?" "I don't think it's far." "Why is it so strong?" At this moment, Fong Ping seemed to be unfamiliar with the Origin's combat style. It felt like the Origin's amplification had not manifested yet. However, after a few times, everyone could already feel one thing. Fong Ping's Origin's aura was beginning to thicken. Kong, Lingyuan shook his head slightly. He did not know the situation either. Fong Ping was indeed a little too strong. This had completely surpassed him. Right now, every move of these 2 people was stronger than his extreme outburst, an outburst close to 400,000 calories. And this was just a casual attack from both of them. It was frightening and shocking. Wu Hua said in a low voice, "This true god consumes a lot of energy. Actually, he mainly relies on his physique to fight. He's slightly weaker than I thought, but a true god has its own strong points. The other party's origin has gone far, and his spiritual consciousness is also very strong." I'm afraid that later, she still felt that Fong Ping would definitely lose. There was no other reason. A true god's origin was incomparably strong. Once he felt that he had consumed too much energy, the other party might pull Fong Ping into the origin battlefield to fight. If that happened, it would be troublesome. Fong Ping's mentality was actually not weak, but the key was that Fong Ping's origin had just been developed. He might not be able to withstand too many fluctuations. They were discussing. At this moment, Fong Ping was getting braver as he fought. He did not care about his injuries at all. He gave it his all. He was using the void, fracturing swordplay very well. When he was fighting, it was incomparably fierce. Crack! Fong Ping grabbed Faceless' right arm. With a roar, his golden body erupted, crushing the flesh of his arm. Faceless also stabbed his sword into Fong Ping's throat. Blood gushed out, and the wound healed in an instant. "Continue." Fong Ping grinned. His eyes turned blood red in the blink of an eye. Holding a saber in his hand, he slashed down madly. Faceless also wielded his sword and fought with him continuously. Every time he attacked, blood splattered. The more they fought, the more Faceless felt that something was wrong. He was consuming energy. The other party did not seem to care about energy consumption. True gods were very strong in the outside world. He would not run out of energy even if he fought for a few months, as long as he had energy to replenish himself. Here, however, he did not have any replenishment. He relied entirely on his own energy reserves. But after so many years, how could he have any reserves to speak of? Faceless suddenly unleashed his attack. Before the sword could even get close, Fong Ping's golden body already felt threatened. He did not even have time to dodge. Fong Ping's left arm was chopped off directly. Crack! A cracking sound rang out. Faceless panted slightly. Nine Forging golden body was very strong. It was already so difficult to chop off the other party's arm. However, in the next moment, Faceless could not help but frown. Fong Ping's left arm grew back at a speed visible to the naked eye. Almost in the blink of an eye, it was exactly the same as before. Very strong. Continue slashing. Fong Ping chuckled. Then he said, "I'm not going to play with you anymore. You're just a pseudo-true god. You're weaker than I expected." Having said that, Fong Ping's aura dissipated completely. Faceless was stunned. He lost track of Fong Ping's aura almost instantly. Just as he was feeling slightly shocked, the next moment, Faceless' expression changed. He swung a fist behind him. Rumble! Fong Ping flew backward, but he disappeared into the void again. He could not capture any aura. Rumble! Faceless kept attacking in all directions. However, Fong Ping's silhouette was like lightning, extremely fast. Again and again, he appeared near him from unimaginable angles and fought with him. Bang! Fong Ping's fist landed on Faceless' head, but his heart was also pierced by Faceless' sword. Fong Ping disappeared again. When he appeared again, he was full of energy. At this moment, Fong Ping felt like a boss. He could not kill Faceless instantly, but he wanted to grind this guy to death. He constantly consumed his wealth to repair his flesh, replenish his energy, replenish his vitality, replenish his mentality. The consumption was very fast. Hundreds of thousands of wealth points were depleted almost in the blink of an eye. But Fong Ping did not care. There were still 2 billion wealth points left. He had plenty to spend. However, the more Faceless fought, the more frightened he became. Something was wrong. Something was really wrong. Logically speaking, the vitality reserves of the Origin should have been depleted long ago. Even if Fong Ping had brought along treasures to replenish consumption after such a long battle, the other party should not still be so powerful. His condition did not decline at all. Moreover, recovery, that would require some time. However, Fong Ping maintained a balanced level almost from the beginning to the end. No, not balanced. The other party seemed to be getting stronger as the battle went on. Faceless was shocked. For the first time, he felt threatened. At this moment, his energy was almost depleted. With energy, he could still explode with about 500,000 calories of damage. Without it, he would be in danger. Humph! Faceless snorted coldly again. Do you think that's all a true god can do? The next moment, Faceless' gaze was incomparably deep. He looked at Fong Ping abruptly. Fong Ping, who was about to continue his attack, was in a trance. Then, Fong Ping seemed to see a new world. The dark world was slightly different from the outside world. The Origin world. At this moment, Fong Ping appeared in Faceless Origin world. Not only Faceless Origin world, but Fong Ping's too. Fong Ping's floating island also appeared under his feet. Faceless sneered. His longsword fell, and he shouted, "Thunder!" With a loud roar, thunder flashed in the void. It was like a real thunder calamity, striking rapidly toward the floating island, where Fong Ping was Fong Ping was about to make a move when a thin layer suddenly rose around the floating island. Not only that, Fong Ping looked down. He did not know when, but a battle armor had appeared on his body. Origin battle armor. Rumble. The violent thunder struck the thin layer, and the floating island trembled for a while. This was Fong Ping's first time fighting with someone in the Origin world. When he fought with Qi Huanyu previously, he entered his Origin directly, waving his divine weapon and hacking at the Origin. This was really his first time fighting in the Origin world. Fong Ping looked at Faceless in the distance and suddenly thought of a problem. It was said that the Origin world and the flesh could fight at the same time. However, it seemed like they had to multitask. At this moment, Fong Ping was slightly in a trance. He seemed to see his own flesh floating in the void. Opposite him, Faceless' flesh seemed to be floating too. Both of them had not reached the stage where they could multitask and fight on both sides. This was Fong Ping's first time experiencing such a situation. He did not know what to do, but he could not care too much at this time. His floating island seemed to be about to be broken. Even without experience, he knew how troublesome it was to injure the Origin. The Origin world seems to have everything I want. When Fong Ping thought of this, a Changdao suddenly appeared in his hand. God-slaying saber. When the Changdao appeared, although it was only an illusion, its aura was incomparably powerful. Slash! With a furious roar, Fong Ping's saber cut through the sky, slashing toward Faceless. Crack! In the void, thunder and lightning exploded. Faceless frowned slightly. This was strange. This person's Origin world was much bigger and stronger than he had expected. Could it be that this was the way to advance to a 9th grade golden body? Fong Ping did not care about this. He steered the floating island and charged forward, holding the Changdao in his hand, directly attacking the other party. No, he was also colliding with the other party's Origin world. Faceless could not hold it in anymore. He shouted, "Idiot! When the Origin worlds collide, both of us will suffer." Did this idiot know how to fight? Who would collide with each other's Origin worlds the moment they appeared? Who would do such a thing until the very last moment? Fong Ping's eyes lit up. There was such a saying. The next moment, Fong Ping laughed loudly. Without another word, he steered the floating island madly and collided with the other party's Origin world. Rumble! This rumble seemed to explode in his mind. In reality, Fong Ping was bleeding from his 7 orifices. On the opposite side, Faceless was the same. A wisp of Origin energy overflowed from his body. ***. In the Origin world, Faceless almost died of anger. How could there be such an idiot? Fong Ping's floating island was slightly shattered. The floating island under his feet was also slightly shattered. He was a true god. His Origin world seemed to be about the same as Fong Ping's. Fong Ping seemed to be addicted to colliding. Without another word, he continued to collide. Rumble! Rumble after rumble rang out. At this time, Faceless also roared angrily, wielding his sword and charging over from the floating island. Fong Ping was not afraid of him. He brandished his saber and quickly engaged the other party in close combat. Not only that, Fong Ping was also controlling the floating island to collide with Faceless. Faceless was going crazy. He shouted angrily, "If we continue to collide, our Origin will overflow and disperse, idiot!" How could he do that? Having said that, he added, "You will definitely overflow and disperse before me. If I get hurt, you die." Fong Ping grinned. "Idiot, am I that stupid?" "Sorry. Nan Yunping, Zhang Tao, Wang Qinghai, and the rest. I'm going to use the cat fruit. I'm going to use some of the one and only fruits too. I'll kill a true god first." Fong Ping grinned. Then he gritted his teeth. While crazily colliding with the floating island, he ignored everything and slashed at Faceless with his saber. The two of them were entangled. Their willpower bodies kept fighting, flesh and blood splattered everywhere. The flesh and blood here was not real flesh and blood, but origin energy. At this moment, the two of their origins were constantly being obliterated. The collision between the floating islands was also getting more and more intense. Outside, both of their bodies were cracking. However, Fong Ping's injuries were more serious. After all, he had just entered the origin. Just as Faceless was cursing in his heart and was determined to kill him, a cat-shaped fruit suddenly appeared on Fong Ping's floating island and merged with the floating island in an instant. The previously shattered floating island almost instantly recovered to its original state. "Cat fruit!" Faceless exclaimed, but it was already too late. Fong Ping did not expect the cat fruit to be so effective. It recovered immediately. He laughed loudly. Without another word, he steered the floating island and collided with the other side. Rumble! With a loud explosion, Faceless Source World began to explode. At this moment, Fong Ping also seized the opportunity. With a slash of his saber, he slashed Faceless into pieces. Rumble! There was another explosion. In the next moment, Fong Ping retreated from the Source World. On the opposite side, Faceless' body was already mostly cracked. His head had exploded. Without hesitation, Fong Ping swiftly charged toward Faceless in reality. Faceless opened his eyes. His gaze was dim. With a muffled humph, he turned around and fled. Something had gone wrong. He had almost been killed in the Source World. Chapter 9, 77. Running. Fong Ping roared coldly. From all directions, the small city converged. The buildings in the city turned into living creatures and began to riot and attack Faceless. Faceless roared angrily, waving his sword in all directions. The buildings shattered. Suppress! Fong Ping roared. The crystal house came crashing down. Faceless faced the sky and roared. His hands held up the sky, blocking the crystal house. Suppress again. From afar, Fong Ping roared again. From all directions, the buildings in the small city merged into the crystal house. This time, the weight of the entire city merged into one. Break! Faceless roared. He could not avoid it. In the confrontation of mentality, his origin was injured earlier. It was difficult to resist now. The void trembled from the pressure on Faceless' golden body. The blood vessels kept bursting. His arms began to crack from the pressure. At this moment, Fong Ping rushed forward, smiling. "I'll let you have a taste of my infinite teacher pacification technique." The so-called infinite teacher pacification technique was just a method of close combat. Fong Ping closed in, his hands like blades, attacking wildly. Faceless' head was in the crystal house. His legs exploded, sweeping in all directions, producing bursts of thunder. Break! Fong Ping roared. His arm turned into a Chongdao, slashing down. Ah! A cry of pain was heard. Fong Ping's hand blade slashed down, chopping off one of his opponent's legs. "You think you can kill me?" Fong Ping sneered. A half-crippled true god was quite arrogant. If a true god came, he would definitely not be his opponent. However, a true god who had stayed here for thousands of years. So what if he was powerful back then? Could he still maintain his peak now? Go to hell! Fong Ping's arm turned into a saber, sweeping across and cutting off his opponent's neck. It was at this moment that something unexpected happened. Faceless, whose head and torso were separated, roared. A torso grew below his head, and a head appeared above his torso. Two people. In the blink of an eye, Faceless had split into two people. Faceless seemed to be waiting for this opportunity. With a roar, one of his silhouettes turned into a long sword and slashed at Fong Ping's head. The other silhouette turned into a wisp of green smoke. In an instant, like a flame, it started burning the crystal house. "Junior, do you think you can kill me?" Faceless' voice rang out. At this moment, Fong Ping's head was splitting. The crystal house was melting from the heat. This was also burning his mentality. Faceless, who had transformed into a sword, took advantage of this moment to slash down. Puchi, his head was chopped off. Ah! A blood-curdling scream escaped Fong Ping's mouth this time. His entire head was almost cut into two halves. Not only was his physical body damaged, but his mental power was also damaged. The crystal house started to crumble under the burning flames. This was Fong Ping's first time encountering such an attack. "I will refine you to death." Faceless' cold shout came from all directions again. The half of his body that had turned into flames continued to melt the crystal house. He refused to believe that he, a true god, could not kill an Origin Realm expert. As for the other side of his body, he continued to transform into a sword, slashing at Fong Ping madly, slashing Fong Ping's torso until it exploded continuously. Every time Fong Ping wanted to retaliate, he was interrupted by the excruciating pain. He didn't know what the flames of Faceless incarnation were, but they were burning him in excruciating pain. At this moment, he didn't even have the strength to retract his crystal house. "Damn, these guys are stronger than I thought." Fong Ping cursed in his heart. He could only force himself to focus and fight with all his might. A man and a sword were fighting wildly in the void. On the other side, the flames were still burning, with the intention of burning the crystal house into nothingness. But it was very difficult. It didn't take Faceless long to notice something unusual as well. Although the crystal house was cracked from the fire, it was constantly being repaired. The repair speed was very fast. Faceless could still burn it in the beginning, but later on, it became very difficult to burn the crystal house. Right now, Faceless flames were also turning illusory, showing signs of extinguishing. "Damn it!" Faceless cursed in his heart. How could this be? His opponent's materialized object core had been burned by his spiritual consciousness until now, and the damage was actually limited. On the contrary, he was the one who felt powerless and exhausted. "Damn it, damn it!" Faceless cursed again. At this moment, Fong Ping was gradually waking up. The pain was no longer as intense. Sensing all this, Fong Ping also laughed loudly. "Is this all you've got?" "Humph." Faceless snorted coldly. His body that had turned into a sword attacked Fong Ping again. The flames began to extinguish. He transformed into a human and fled quickly. Suppress again. A violent roar was heard. In the void, the crystal house broke through the air and crashed into Faceless with a rumble. Faceless let out a muffled grunt, but he did not care about this and continued to flee. He could not burn Fong Ping's materialized object core. His origin was heavily injured and consumed a lot. If he continued to fight, he might really suffer a great loss here. Right now, however, Fong Ping seemed to be inspired. With a violent roar, the next moment, more than 10 masses of imperishable matter were thrown out by him. This time, it was not an explosion. More than 10 masses of imperishable matter turned into Fong Ping's appearance in the blink of an eye. Kill. More than 10 golden Fong Ping. At this moment, some used fists, some legs, some wielded sabers, and some wielded swords, all of them charged toward Faceless. Cut! Fong Ping growled again. With a crack, a corner of the crystal house cracked. A gush of mentality was sliced out and integrated into the Fong Ping's bodies in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly had a very strange feeling. "It's all me." It was as if he had a 360-degree view. He could see Fong Ping in all directions. Clones. These were the clones of an absolute peak. Generally, an absolute peak was a pure mentality clone. Fong Ping, on the other hand, used the imperishable matter as a carrier, integrated a bit of mentality, and created a clone. Fong Ping could not be bothered to check the data. However, he knew that his mentality would drop a little. Still, he did not cut much. He was just testing it out. Right now, the Fong Ping formed by these golden imperishable matter had the strength of a weak rank 9. With this kind of strength, even a heavily injured faceless would not be enough to kill him. More than 10 Fong Ping were blown up by him in the blink of an eye, but this bit of time was enough. At this moment, Fong Ping's real body erupted with an extreme brilliance. In the void, a blood-colored Changdao materialized and slashed down with a rumble. The other half of Faceless Clone, the long sword, was sliced into pieces with a crack. The broken longsword quickly turned into a gush of energy and integrated into Faceless' body, which was surrounded by the clones earlier. Faceless spat out a mouthful of blood. His cheekless face became even paler. Fong Ping was also familiarizing himself with the new rank 9 combat style. At this moment, the more he fought, the more he realized that there were many rank 9 combat styles. Not only that, he was also constantly trying to use new energy combinations to attack. Sometimes he was extremely powerful, sometimes his combat strength dropped. As if he felt that one person's attempt was not enough, Fong Ping shot out more than 10 golden imperishable matter again, forming Fong Ping again. This time, Fong Ping did not cut off his mentality. Without mentality to cut off, the Fong Ping formed by the imperishable matter lacked some vitality. Usually, they would be blown up by Faceless in one move. But many ants could kill an elephant. Faceless was already heavily injured. Now, his injuries were getting worse. Sensing this, Faceless roared furiously. "How can you have so much destructive power?" This was too unbelievable. How much was this? Fong Ping's battle with him, until now, had probably consumed 10,000 yuan of destructive power. Was this still a martial artist who had just entered Origin? Fong Ping, however, sneered. What was 10,000 yuan? It was only 100 million wealth points. His vitality replenishment and mentality replenishment had been consumed much more than this. But everything was worth it. He was constantly trying out various energy combinations, consuming a large amount of imperishable matter to try and hone himself. Not only that, as the battle continued, Fong Ping's control over his strength was getting better and better. He felt that it was worth it to consume this bit of wealth points. At this moment, Fong Ping's body trembled slightly. A clone of the imperishable matter slashed down with a saber, and the void rumbled. These imperishable substances without mentality were probably at most rank 8 in strength. They were all controlled by Fong Ping's main consciousness. But now, the strength unleashed by this clone seemed to have entered rank 9. This recombination method seems to be more suitable for me than the void cleaving sword technique. Fong Ping's eyes flashed with joy. He memorized the combination method of the clone's move just now and began to try it with his real body. With this attempt, Fong Ping suddenly felt the difference. Comfortable. The strength in his body condensed in his right hand almost instantly. A Changdao formed by imperishable matter appeared in Fong Ping's hand. With a loud roar, the Changdao pierced through the air, its speed 3 times faster, slashing toward Faceless. Uffed, the Changdao entered his body, and Faceless' right arm was chopped off. Damn it! Faceless cursed. This guy was using him as a whetstone, practicing his strength and trying to deduce his own combat techniques. This was too much. He was a true god powerhouse, after all. Since when did he become a stepping stone to the origin realm? Faceless was angry, but Fong Ping was overjoyed. Just now, he seemed to have unleashed an even greater strength. His strength control was even higher. The moment he converted and recombined his strength, Fong Ping felt that his strength control had increased by at least 5%. Combat techniques. Find the combat techniques that are most suitable for me. No, I have to be compatible with the origin. Fong Ping seemed to have thought of something. Right now, the improvement of his origin did not seem too obvious. Compatible with the origin. How do I do that? Fong Ping thought of something. Maybe if he tried this combat technique in the origin space, it would be more compatible with the origin. When the origin space resonates, that might be the time when my unique combat technique will appear. At this moment, Fong Ping somewhat understood why the ultimate combat techniques were usually only taught to rank 9, because before reaching rank 9, what they learned was a simple energy recombination method. At rank 9, they might be able to trigger a resonance with the origin. Thinking was just thinking. Fong Ping attacked mercilessly, faster and faster. At this moment, Fong Ping's crystal house disappeared, no longer appearing, turning into nothingness. Like a sharp sword, he attacked Faceless again and again. Faceless was about to collapse. All of a sudden, he could not find where Fong Ping's mentality was. Just like before, Fong Ping's aura had disappeared. Mentality was formless to begin with. At this moment, there were no aura fluctuations. If Faceless was not careful, his head would be penetrated by mentality. As a last resort, he could only unleash his mentality to the limit to stop Fong Ping's mentality from killing. As for Fong Ping himself, he appeared and disappeared unpredictably. Sometimes, his real body did not show up. Clones formed by imperishable substances would come out to fight, and his real body would ambush in the dark. Drip, drip, Faceless blood dripped continuously, from golden yellow to pale gold, until the gold color began to fade. This meant that Faceless had exhausted himself to the limit. Right now, Faceless was really anxious. The others might not know that he was facing such a crisis. Those 3 were probably still waiting for him to return after killing someone, but they would not know that he was about to be killed here. The origin could kill a true god. He might become the first true god powerhouse to be killed by the origin. Faceless was indignant. He roared, "You're Fong Ping? You can't kill me. I'm one of the 72 Lord Gods of the Divine Sect. If you kill me, the Divine Sect will not let you off." Fong Ping laughed. "Are you trying to scare me? What Divine Sect? I've never heard of it." "Ignorant Junior." Faceless roared. "The Divine Sect is the #1 sect in the ancient times. After the heavenly realm collapsed, the Divine Sect existed in the world. Their influence spread across the 3 realms. Thousands of years ago, there were 72 true gods. Above the Lord Gods, there was Venerable Emperor. Above Venerable Emperor, there were 3 great sect protectors. Never heard of it. Annihilated, right? Are you trying to scare me with this? Do you think I'm scared?" Fong Ping sneered again. "Annihilated? Impossible." Faceless roared in anger. "What nonsense! The Divine Sect was incomparably powerful. The North-South War was secretly led by the Divine Sect. How could it be annihilated? In the North-South War that year, the Divine Sect was the biggest winner after more than 2,000 years. Even if the Divine Sect did not grow stronger, it would not be easily annihilated. If it was really annihilated, the Divine Sect powerhouses would have come here long ago and summoned them back." Fong Ping said playfully, "I'm telling the truth. What Divine Sect? I've never heard of it. And 72 true gods. Do you think all true gods are as weak as you? True gods are incomparably powerful. They are all limited. Where did 72 true gods come from? Faceless almost vomited blood. He said angrily, "Junior, are you questioning me?" "No, I'm going to kill you." Fong Ping roared and slashed his saber again, splitting Faceless' head in half. Faceless retreated rapidly. As soon as he did so, an invisible and intangible mentality Changdao erupted from behind him. The saber slashed down, causing Faceless mentality to explode. "Ah!" Faceless screamed in pain, saying sharply, "You can't kill me." The divine sect will not be annihilated. Venerable Emperor Moon Spirit and Venerable Emperor Qing Tong are so powerful, but they are also under the control of the divine sect. The divine sect will not be annihilated. Tell me who is very famous in the divine sect. Maybe I know them. Maybe you guys changed your names? Fong Ping sneered. "Who knows if you're telling the truth or not?" "I know Venerable Emperor Moon Spirit of Mount Wangu, Venerable Emperor Qing Tong of Mount Weiyu, Heavenly Emperor Pingyu. I know all of these people. It's fine if you use them to scare me, but what *T divine sect are you trying to scare me with? Stop joking. I'll just send you on your way." Fong Ping sneered again and again. Faceless emotional fluctuations were very strong. Was this person ignorant, or did something really happen to the divine sect? He was still deep in thought when Fong Ping said, "Oh, right. 1,000 years ago, the Devil Lord came out of seclusion and attacked the land realm. He killed more than 10 venerable emperors and dozens of true gods. Don't tell me he killed your people? If that's the case, maybe I know what the divine sect is." "Impossible!" Faceless screamed. "Why would the demon emperor kill the people of the divine sect? During the North-South War, the demon emperor also cooperated with the divine sect." At this point, Faceless stopped talking. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. "Unquestionable Sword cooperated with you? This is beyond my expectations. But I heard that he had gone crazy to avenge his wife." "His wife? Could it be that you guys schemed against her? If that's the case, it's normal for him to annihilate the divine sect when he finds out." "Ridiculous!" Faceless said angrily. "The people who schemed against his wife are those grandmasters, people from the blessed grotto heavens. Moreover, he killed his wife by mistake. If he wants revenge, he can't find the divine sect." Fong Ping's heart trembled. "He killed her by mistake? Unquestionable Sword killed his wife by himself? Damn it! This was the first time he had heard of such a secret. Did this not mean that if Unquestionable Sword wanted revenge, he would have to kill himself first? Such a person might really be crazy." Faceless shouted again, "You're lying! The demon emperor will not kill the people of the divine sect. The blessed grotto heavens, grand masters, they might have heavenly kings behind them, secretly controlling everything. The divine sect is the only one who can help the demon emperor. If the demon emperor wants to kill someone, he would kill those people." "Heavenly kings? 8 heavenly kings." Fong Ping slashed his neck again and laughed. "Heavenly kings are behind grandmasters and blessed grotto heavens? But as far as I know, most of the 8 heavenly kings are dead. Only the subduing heavenly king is left, and the subduing heavenly king is on our side. Li Xuanxia, you know him?" Faceless was a little dazed. Was this person ignorant, or had the situation really changed in the past 2,000 years? Heavenly king, subduing, Li Xuanxia. Faceless head and torso quickly fused together. He retreated as he fought. "I don't know anything about Li Xuanxia. I wonder who the heavenly King Zhen is. Of course, if you're talking about King Zhen, then I know. But Li Xuanxia, there's no such person among the 8 heavenly kings. The 8 kings are named after the 8 trigrams of Qian Kuan, and there is no such thing as Li Xianxia." "Rumble!" Fong Ping was truly shocked. His mind was shaken. The 8 heavenly kings were named after the Qian Bagua. Qian, Kun, Zhen, Sun, Can, Li Zhen, Dui. He did not know about the others, but he knew one person, King Qian of the heavenly plant's royal court. Coincidence? Accident? Also King Zhen? Are the 8 heavenly kings still alive? Fong Ping was a little dazed. The catacombs had King Qian, the humans had the suppressing heavenly king, the divine sect perhaps also had a heavenly king? According to Faceless, the land of domain, and the realm beyond Avalon might each have a sky outer elder behind the scenes. Now, there were 5 of them. What about the overseas immortal islands? Could it be that everything today, including the division of forces, was actually led by those heavenly kings? Old Zhang said that there were chess players behind the scenes. Could it be that these heavenly kings were the chess players behind the scenes? He had just found out about the 8 heavenly kings, but in the blink of an eye, he felt that he had found out something incredible. Perhaps these things were common knowledge to Faceless, but it was Fong Ping's first time learning about them. Also, was this King Qian one of the 8 heavenly kings? According to the ranking, King Qian was, of course, he could not rule out the possibility of a random ranking. Don't tell me that your divine sect doesn't even have a slightly famous guy. Fong Ping suppressed the restlessness in his heart, chuckling. Like you, a nobody. If it's a nobody like you, I have an emperor-level powerhouse behind me too. I'm not afraid of your divine sect. Faceless gritted his teeth, but said nothing. Fong Ping said playfully, You really won't say? Or are you just trying to scare me? Then I won't hold back. I'll talk after I kill you. If you say it, maybe those people you know are related to me. As Fong Ping spoke, his mentality ambushed him again and exploded his head again. Faceless head recovered quickly, but his golden body was dim and lifeless. He could not withstand such exhaustion anymore. At this moment, even though Faceless knew that Fong Ping might be testing him on purpose to find out some secrets, he could not help but yell in horror, Yes, human side. Are you a martial artist from the human world? That's right. The human world, the Hell King of the human world, is one of the 72 Lord Gods of the divine sect. I don't know him, Fong Ping sneered. I've never heard of him. Was he killed by the Heavenly King? The Heavenly King seemed to have killed many powerhouses. Who knows if your Hell King has been killed? Seeing that Fong Ping did not seem to be lying, Faceless felt a little hopeless. At this moment, he was getting weaker and weaker as he fought. Every time he was injured, his foundation was being depleted. At this moment, he seemed to have thought of something and roared, and Venerable Emperor Stardome. You must know Venerable Emperor Stardome. I don't. Fong Ping sighed again. It seems like you're really bluffing me. Then you can go to hell. No. Faceless roared angrily and began to flee frantically. However, there was resistance coming from all directions. Fong Ping's crystal house turned into a canopy, blocking all directions. Fong Ping walked forward step by step, slashing with his saber. The more he slashed, the more powerful he became. Faceless kept flying backward. Red blood began to drip. He screamed mournfully, The divine sect will never let you go. Never. Fong Ping, let me go. I'll tell you where the ancient treasure land is, and where some secret places are. No, I'll tell you where the remains of the heavenly realm are. There are remains of Emperor Realm powerhouses there. It can help you reach the top in one step. I'm not interested. Fong Ping said lightly, I know all these. I know Old Cat. It knows where it is. So, you should just go to hell. Sky Emperor? At this point, Faceless eyes lit up. He roared quickly. I know where the remains of the Celestial Emperor are. Sky Emperor and the Celestial Emperor are on good terms. They must want to find the remains of the Celestial Emperor. Fong Ping, let me go. I'll tell you, you know. Fong Ping sneered. I've heard about that battle. I heard that the Heavenly Hound fought until the end. It fought against the heavens and died, without a complete corpse. Where did the remains come from? There really is. The divine sect also sent people there. 2 out of the 3 great holy guardians went. That time, the 2 holy guardians brought back the remains of the Celestial Emperor, even though they were heavily injured. It's true. I know where the divine sect is. At this moment, Fong Ping seemed to be swayed. He stared at him and said, Are you really willing to bring me to find the remains of the Heavenly Hound? I'm willing. Why don't you tell me where the divine sect is first? I'll look for it myself. I'll let you go after I find it? Impossible. If you let me go, I'll definitely tell you. Faceless would not say it at this time. He was not that stupid. If he said it now, would he still be able to live? If that's the case, Fong Ping paused and said slowly, I'll believe you this once. Old Cat and I are on good terms. Although I don't know the Heavenly Hound, the remains must be found. But Faceless was looking forward to it. Go to hell. Fong Ping roared. At this moment, all his mentality, vitality, and destructive force were integrated into the illusory Changdao in his hands. The saber erupted. The saber gleam illuminated the void. We'll talk after I kill you. Fong Ping's saber slashed down. At this moment, there were some ripples in the void. The entire space battlefield trembled slightly. Hum, boom. The saber fell. At the last moment, Faceless seemed to have revealed his face. He let out a shrill roar and went all out, unleashing the last of his potential. It was not just his mentality. Fong Ping even saw a broken floating island appear. At this time, Faceless used his broken origin again. He just wanted to block this saber. However, his origin was injured, and he had been exhausted by Fong Ping. How could he still have the ability to block Fong Ping's peak saber? The vitality outburst of this saber was about 450,000 calories at least. The severely injured Faceless could not even use the enhancement of the origin. Without the enhancement of the origin, even a true god was no match for Fong Ping. This was referring to a true god who was truly unharmed. How could Faceless block it? Fong Ping. A desperate, shrill roar resounded through the void. There was a rumble. The floating island was smashed. The saber gleam was still there. It fell again. The golden body exploded. The illusory mentality could not escape in time. It was torn into pieces in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping refused to give up. He let out another roar and slashed down again. This was the first time he killed a true god, who knew if there would be a little bit of mentality left. The saber fell. Fong Ping's mentality swept across the void. Very soon, a scream came from the void. A small person the size of an ant was torn into pieces in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping, the Church of God, will avenge me. The shrill roar sounded again. Fong Ping was a little surprised. He could not help but say, Yo, there really is a little bit of mentality left. Not bad. True gods are really awesome. Fong Ping was impressed. This worked too. He was just testing it. He really got rid of his backup. Rumble. The origin space trembled slightly. Very quickly, it returned to normal. Meanwhile, outside, rumble. Heaven and earth exploded. A roar sounded. Zhang Tao and Ping Yu, who were fighting, suddenly stopped. In the void, an illusory Tao broke. The sky turned blood red. There was no blood rain. A true king had died. It had not reached that point yet. Moreover, there seemed to be something blocking it. The reaction was not as big as when a true king was killed in the outside world. Even so, this moment still shocked everyone. A true king has fallen. Who? Who died? It shouldn't be far from here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have seen it. But everyone is here. That means the next moment, everyone looked toward the place where the true kings fought. If that was the case, a true king had fallen in the place where the true kings fought. The space battlefield. Someone murmured softly. If it was outside the space battlefield, it might have triggered a riot in the place where the true kings fought. A true king had been killed in the space battlefield. At this moment, there was silence. The true king battle had not started, and someone had already died. Who killed him? Chapter 978. Heaven and earth changed color. The outside world quietened down. After a long time, someone said indifferently, "The second king's men?" or "someone from that organization?" There were only two forces with real gods in the king battlefield. At this time, Zhang Tao said with a smile, "Is it that little girl from Wangwu? It seems that he was a true god in the past. Could it be that he recovered his strength and was killed by the chaos origin?" Humph! In the distance, the Green Lotus Sovereign was a little dissatisfied. How could it be Ling Xiao? Moreover, where did the word little girl come from? How old are you, Zhang Tao? Zhang Tao chuckled and said, "Don't snort. I'm just guessing. It might not be fake. Oh, right, Green Lotus. Do you want to return the divine weapon to me first? I'll use something else to replace it. I don't mind, but Fong Ping still needs this. Are there any martial artists in the royal mansion who use sabers?" He really didn't care much about it. The god, slaying saber, didn't give him a strong feeling. After all, Wangwu had brought people back, so he gave them to them. However, that kid Fong Ping used a saber. Now that he had lost his divine weapon and was barehanded, his combat strength would decline. The Green Lotus did not reply. Old Zhang did not continue to ask. "If you don't want to give it to me, then forget it. Take it easy. Do you think it's so easy to take a cat's knife? The Azure Cat has so many divine artifacts. Do you think I've fooled any of them? This cat, don't underestimate it." Anyway, Lao Zhang had never underestimated this cat that had lived since ancient times. The guy from Wangwu had taken the knife from Song Mao, and he might end up with nothing in the end. If he were to use some treasures to exchange for it, he might be able to obtain some benefits. They were shocked. At this moment, Taoist Fingyun's figure trembled again. Today, it was not the first time it had trembled. He had been beaten up by old Zhang twice. However, at that moment, Taoist wind and cloud could not help but tremble. Someone died. Real God, faceless. Zhang Tao seemed to have sensed it. He suddenly looked at him and laughed. "Taoist Fengyun, your relative is dead?" As soon as he said that, many people looked at him. In the void, someone said indifferently, "Taoist Fengyun, could he be from that organization? In my opinion, only these few families have the ability to do so. Could it be that the people they left behind in the void battlefield died? Who killed him? Qi Huanyu? After all, it has been so many years, and the true gods are probably not as powerful as they used to be. However, it's no easy feat to kill a true god. Could it be that Qi Huanyu has made a breakthrough?" Just as they were talking about this, Zhang Tao smiled again and said, "Advancement? If the Fate Monarch wasn't dead, how could he advance? Speaking of which, Life King, is your disciple's Tao very strong? Why are you so moved?" This seemed to have poked Fate King's sore spot. He coldly snorted and said, "Martial King, it's not your place to lecture this king. Don't explode. That disciple of yours is probably your son, right? It was better to kill him as soon as possible. He was clearly a rebellious child, and sooner or later, something bad would happen to him. Kill him, and you'll be safe. Do you want me to help you get rid of him? Then Zhang Tao said with a smile, No, you haven't killed him for so many years. I think there's something wrong. You walked into his path, yet you didn't kill him. This is a very serious problem. What are you thinking about? In the distance, the subduing heavenly king seemed to be yawning as he said, lazily, What are you thinking about? Maybe it's to force his son to advance to true monarch. After entering, there are two paths, but the origin is still one path, and maybe it can be superimposed. TSK, TSK. Someone has thought of this before. Maybe it can be directly connected. That would be amazing. Now that he has walked 5,000 meters, if he continues 1,000 meters, wouldn't it be 6,000 meters directly? However, this is not a simple matter, and some people are probably just trying it out. It's hard to say. As soon as this was said, Life King coldly snorted and said, Subduing heavenly king, why deliberately sow discord? Sow discord. The subduing heavenly king said indifferently, This old man is not interested in doing this. However, this method was not created by you. After the heavenly realm was destroyed, some people thought about this. Back then, some people went crazy from wanting to become emperors, killing their sons, killing their fathers, killing their brothers, killing their disciples. What can't they do? Let's not talk about others. Just look at those two fellows inside. How many paths have they walked? Don't these two fellows have many disciples and granddisciples? Back then, when that thing appeared in their hands, it didn't take long for most of their disciples and granddisciples to die. Who doesn't know how they died? The subduing heavenly king said indifferently, then smiled and said, Also that crazy woman in the king house, how her husband died. It's hard to say now. Who knows if it was done by his brother? That guy is also a ruthless person. This old man remembers that the two brothers walked similar paths. If that's really the case, they might be able to connect a great Tao, which is even more powerful. As soon as these words came out, the green lotus, Dwarch, immediately said sternly, Heavenly King, is that true? How is that possible? At the side, Zhang Tao casually sent Pingyu away with a punch, patted his butt, and ran away, waiting to watch the show. Heavenly Emperor Ping, you almost went crazy from anger. You want to fight, and you want to stop. However, just as he was about to get angry, he thought about it again. Forget it. This lunatic, it was good to stop. He felt that continuing to fight to the death now was not worth it. The subduing heavenly king ignored them and said with a smile, just chatting, This old man also knows that guy back then. He is not a good person. Relying on the fact that he has a sovereign for a father, he is very arrogant, looking down on everyone, daring to provoke the four emperors. In the end, I remember, it seems that he provoked Mia once. That person's temper is not too good. He almost beat him until he called father. No, father. It was his father who came forward and punished him to kneel in the heaven-destroying palace for 3 days before the matter was settled. Not many people know about this matter. After all, it concerns the sovereign and the extreme Tao heavenly emperor. Little girl Qinglian, you probably don't know. The subduing heavenly king talked about gossip. Everyone was very interested. No one interrupted. This was an ancient secret. There were really not many people who knew about it. Furthermore, it concerned the sovereign, the extreme Tao heavenly emperor, one of the 8 heavenly kings. These people were all supreme existences. Now that the subduing heavenly king was so gossipy, even some ancient thearchs were interested. Someone smiled and said, Heavenly King, what's next? Next, the subduing heavenly king smiled faintly and said, What else can there be? Indignant, unconvinced, these martial arts second generation are all like this. Their father is powerful, and they are not afraid. eating such a big loss. How can they not be aggrieved? Back then, the celestial plan, the division of immortals, this person strongly supported it. There is no other reason the four emperors opposed it. He supported it. As for what happened in the end, this old man is not too sure. After that, there was no sign of him. This old man has seen his younger brother a few times. He is also a dragon among men. The feeling he gives this old man is stronger than him. Once his jealousy arose, he killed his brother, took his Tao, and continued his Tao. It is all too normal. So Wang Wu, that crazy woman, searched everywhere for the murderer, looking for him everywhere. This old man feels that what to look for. He has been dead for God knows how many years. Maybe when the living appeared back then, it was this guy who appeared. When the subduing heavenly king said this, he smiled and said, "Don't say, this old man also just thought of it. Maybe that is the case." He took his brother's Tao with a slight disguise. It is very difficult to distinguish. That crazy woman probably recognized the wrong person. At this moment, someone in the void said again, "Heavenly King is talking about King Kuan." "Nonsense! Who else is it?" The subduing heavenly king laughed and said, "King Kuan, earthly sovereign's son." Earthly sovereign, this old and young pair are both interesting. There was silence all around. Life King was no longer arrogant at this moment. He smiled lightly and said, "The demon emperor is the earthly emperor. It is said that during the demon emperor period, the land of rebirth also had emperors. The subduing heavenly king was in a good mood today. He said lightly, there are emperors in the human world. In fact, most of the 9 emperors back then came from the human world. But in the end, they have long forgotten who still remembers the past." Life King did not talk about this. He smiled again and said, "Then is King Kuan dead?" "Dead. Hard to say." The subduing heavenly king said playfully, "Behind you, maybe it is him." At this moment, someone said in a low voice, "Sky Plant Royal Court's King Qian. Is he the King Qian from back then? Heavenly King?" This was another past. Many catacombs powerhouses looked confused. What King Qian? What King Kuan? Why did so many baffling powerhouses appear out of nowhere? How would this old man know? The subduing heavenly king said lightly, "These catacombs' true kings randomly named their names. Who knows who they are? But King Qian, maybe, maybe not. I've exchanged blows with him a few times, and he isn't weak. However, he didn't go all out, so I'm not sure of his identity. However, speaking of which, it seemed like King Qian was the one who killed the previous Fate King. Fate Kings are nothing more than pawns. They might even be King Qian's pawns. Although the two clans seem to be fighting fiercely, they might be from the same family. King Qian, please be polite to Li Zhu and the others in the future. Who knows, they might be on our side." Ming Wang's expression was extremely ugly. At this time, Zhang Tao laughed and said, "Senior, let's not talk about this. Are the 8 kings very strong?" "I don't know." "You don't know?" Zhang Tao smiled. "Let's talk. It's not easy for everyone to get together today. Some of the old fellows are about to crawl out of their graves. Let them understand how big the gap is between them and those heavenly kings, extreme Daos, and emperors. These people were just a bunch of small fries in the past. They might not have seen much of the world. Senior, please broaden their horizons." Humph! The void trembled. Some people really wanted to erupt in anger. This guy's words are really annoying. Heavenly King, subduing, chuckled and said, "It's meaningless to talk about this." However, there was no harm in saying it. Some old fellows still knew what they were talking about. Right now, the titles are all messy. Absolute, true God, true monarch, venerable emperor, titled true God. It's so messy that it gives me a headache. Back then, when the heavenly realm was not destroyed, it was actually simpler. Because back then, Most of the martial artists advanced around the 7th level of the golden body, and their foundations were about the same. So, we only look at the length of the origin Tao. True God, 1,000 meters to 2,000 meters, is one level, and so on. 9,000 meters to 9,999 meters is the 9th level of True God. After that, 10,000 meters is the title True God. Heavenly King, subduing, smiled, and said, titled True God is also the Emperor level. In fact, back then, only when you reached this level would you have some titles, like the North Sea Emperor, Demon Emperor, Dragon Emperor. At this time, you can be considered to have a name in the 3 realms. After that, the path will become more and more difficult. After 10,000 meters, if you want to continue walking, it will really be very difficult. The 4 Brahmas and the 10 great grotto heavens lords have actually walked more than 50,000 meters. This is another watershed. However, 14 of them walked different lengths, but most of them are concentrated between 50,000 meters to 80,000 meters, above 80,000 meters. Then we have to talk about the 36 sages back then. These people are all between 80,000 meters to 100,000 meters, above 100,000 meters. That is the Heavenly King. The 8 Heavenly Kings should all be in this realm. As for the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, that is not something we can guess. 36 sages? Zhang Tao smiled and said, didn't you say that the one in Wang Wu is very strong? Is he not as good as the 36 sages? Heavenly King, subduing, chuckled and said, the crazy woman in Wang Wu was actually average back then. But think about it. After the heavenly realm was destroyed, she lived for another 6,000 to 7,000 years. Now, I think she is also at the Heavenly King realm, so she is still very strong. Don't rashly provoke her. At the side, the arch-green Lotus did not say a word. At this moment, she was still thinking about other things. Heavenly King, subduing, seemed to know a lot. The arch-green Lotus did not care about what he said and said in a deep voice, Heavenly King, Lord Kuan, is he really still alive? You're asking me? How would I know? Heavenly King, subduing, said lazily, just a random guess, not responsible for being correct. Why don't you look for your master? Forget it. It's useless to look for him. If he takes a liking to her and gets together with eldest uncle, it will be troublesome. What about the face of the earthly emperor? If his daughter-in-law and eldest son get together, he will be so angry that he will vomit blood. Zhang Tao smiled and said, so Mount Wanwu, earthly emperor, god, dynasty, may be considered a family? Heavenly King, subduing, smiled faintly and said, it's built by the projection. It's fine to say that they are a family, but not really. That crazy woman wants to save face and doesn't admit that the projection is her father-in-law. However, we still have to give her some face. For example, the 2 inside should have dealt with the crazy woman back then. As for whether they will recognize her as their young master, there is not much hope. Heavenly King, to the Emperor, we still have to show some respect. At this moment, someone chuckled. Heavenly King, subduing, yawned and said, respect? If you have respect, why did you besiege the earthly emperor god dynasty back then? If you have respect, can the earthly emperor become a demon emperor? They have all been demonized, and it was you who shouted it, saying that the demon emperor is not the earthly emperor. What does it have to do with me? This was another secret. It was only at this moment that Fate Monarch and the others realized that this was how the title of Demon Emperor came about. These people did not recognize the earthly emperor's projection as the earthly emperor, so they changed the title to Demon Emperor. Therefore, the catacombs had demon emperors, but no earthly emperor. Zhang Tao ate the melon with relish and said with a smile, Senior, I realized that the earthly emperor's family seems to be quite powerful. The 8 heavenly kings are from his family. So are the 9 emperors, the earthly emperor god dynasty. And the first heaven back then, the strongest of the 9 emperors was the earthly emperor. No one asked about the identity of heavenly king subduing, one of the 8 heavenly kings. Maybe not. However, he was here. Those who knew would know, and those who didn't know would not get to the bottom of it. Heavenly King, subduing, did not mention himself, and continued, I don't know about that. Who knows which of the 9 emperors is the strongest? At that realm, you won't even know if they attack. As for the power of the earthly emperor god dynasty, it's the same for the emperors. Don't the 4 emperors have any power left? The 4 emperors, heavenly king subduing, chuckled and said, the extreme Tao heavenly emperors have very strange personalities. They don't make friends with ordinary people, and their Tao can't be popularized. It's very difficult for them to have disciples. The Tao of the 4 emperors also determines that most of them are loners, so they just communicate with each other. I see. Zhang Tao did not ask anymore. At this moment, the blood color in the sky had already dissipated. The others listened for a while and also fell silent. As for who the guy who just died was, it was fine as long as he was not one of them. Whether it was Qi Huanyu or someone else, they would know later. In their opinion, this fallen true god was probably exhausted to the extreme. After all, it had been so many years. It was not too surprising that he was killed. In the crowd, only the arch-green lotus frowned. Heavenly King Subduing's irresponsible speculation made her feel a little uneasy. Was it King Kuan who killed the prince back then? Once this matter reached her master's ears, something big might happen. It was fine if King Kuan was dead, but if he was not dead, there might really be a heaven-shaking battle. The arch-green lotus had a headache. She glanced at the void where Heavenly King Subduing was. This Heavenly King's personality was becoming more and more unpredictable. Fong Ping naturally could not hear the gossip in the outside world. At this moment, Fong Ping stood proudly in the void, looking carefree. Killing people was nothing. However, a rank 9 killing a god was a magnificent feat. Relatively speaking, killing him was considered easy. What true god? What trash? Fong Ping said disdainfully. With a wave of his hand, a storage ring fell into his hand. Fong Ping's mentality erupted and quickly burst open the storage ring. Then he swore, poor bastard. I've never seen such a poor, true god. He deserved to die. The huge storage ring was almost empty. The only thing left was a rank 9 divine weapon longsword. This was probably used by the other party before he became a true god, and this was the only one. Fong Ping sighed. Actually, he had expected this. If there were treasures, they would have been used long ago. How many years had it been? If there were really recovery treasures, the other party would have used them long ago. Until the time of his death, he was still half crippled. However, the storage ring was not small. It was at least 100 cubic meters. 1 cubic meter was worth 50 billion. Fong Ping had earned a lot just from a storage ring alone. This thing was worth close to 5 trillion. If converted to wealth points, it would be 500 million. Not a loss. Fong Ping glanced at his wealth points expenditure. Killing Faceless had used up almost 200 million wealth points. After calculating, he had earned quite a lot. At this moment, his wealth points had reached 3 billion. As for a rank 9 divine weapon worth 100 billion, the increase of 10 million wealth points was almost negligible to Fong Ping now. The rank 9 divine weapon that was worth cities in the past was now something that Fong Ping could destroy easily. Not bad. My strength control has reached at least 65%. The key is that this new energy combination method can also increase combat strength by at least 3%. Fang Ping was in a good mood. Now he had truly entered the peak state, 220,000 calories vitality. Origin increased by 39%. Combat techniques increased by 3%. Excluding the divine weapon, after the increase, it was already more than 310,000 calories. Coupled with the doubling of his vitality quality, it was as high as 620,000 calories and above. Normal outbursts could reach 65%. That was more than 400,000 calories vitality outbursts. As for Qi Huanyu, his limit was 400,000. It did not mean that he could achieve 100% outbursts. 95% was the limit. Being able to achieve 380,000 calories outbursts was Qi Huanyu's good fortune. In terms of golden body, he's no match for me. In terms of outbursts, he's no match for me. In terms of limits, he's no match for me. Fang Ping sighed. Qi Huanyu, whom he thought was unparalleled in the past, now looked like he was nothing more than this. Old Zhang, if you want to make him my whetstone, forget it. After killing him this time, the top 3 on the leaderboard will all be human powerhouses. It was okay that Zhao Xingwu had broken through. Fang Ping, will take the lead. First Fang Ping, second Kong Lingyuan, third Li Changsheng. This was not bad. Once the top is gone, I'll be the undisputed number 1 in the 3 realms. Fang Ping was still lamenting when Kong Lingyuan and the others arrived. Seeing Fang Ping standing proudly in the void, everyone looked around and asked hurriedly, "Where's that person just now?" Fang Ping had killed Faceless. The battle here was huge, and the aftermath was strong. They dared not investigate rashly. Now that they did not see Faceless, they were in disbelief. They had some vague thoughts in their minds, but they dared not say them out loud. Fang Ping landed and said casually, "I've sent him to heaven. A mere pseudo-true god is nothing." Everyone wanted to curse. Would he die if he did not pretend? However, at this moment, everyone was still extremely shocked. Forget it. Pretend all you want. Fang Ping was really strong. Jiang Kuei could not help but ask, "How far did your origin go? How could you kill a true god?" Even if a true god did not have the amplification of the origin, if their energy was depleted, it would still be difficult for the origin to kill them, right? A true god's starting point was peerless vitality essence of 200,000 calories, comparable to an ordinary martial artist's 400,000 calories. Even if they had nothing, it would not be much lower than this. Moreover, Faceless' outburst earlier was slightly stronger than this. How did he die? How far did Fang Ping walk this time? Could it be that everyone was mistaken? Did he actually walk very far? Fang Ping glanced at them and smiled. "Fortunately, I walked 800 meters. He dared not say that he had walked less than 100 meters. It was fine for his own people, but if Jiang Kuei and the others knew that he had become so strong after walking such a little, they would go crazy. They would tell others later that jealousy was an original sin. Moreover, Fang Ping would become stronger very quickly in the future. If he was already so strong after walking less than 100 meters, it would not be difficult for him to walk less than 1,000 meters. Would that not be shocking? When that time came, he might even become the 3 realms' public enemy. 800 meters, Jiang Kuei, and the others did not doubt it. They were all amazed. 800 meters a day. As expected, this was the power of a 9-refinement golden body, double 9s. The Devil Emperor could walk 500 meters a day. Fang Ping was even stronger than the Devil Emperor. This was a true prodigy. As for what they saw just now, the appearance of a virtual image did not necessarily mean it was real. It was just a projection of his strength. Fang Ping had good control of his strength. It was normal that they could not see anything. Kong Lingyuan and the others were a little suspicious. Could Fong Ping control his doubt and not appear? This fellow became stronger too quickly. If there was a weakness, the only one was probably his weak control of his strength. Otherwise, Fong Ping might be even stronger. Fong Ping did not care what they thought. If I say 800 meters, then it's 800 meters. I don't care if you believe it or not. It's fine as long as I believe it. Without further ado, Fong Ping exhaled and said, "There seem to be people inside. These fellows are from some divine sect. It's probably the organization that originated from the cults. You guys stay here for now. I'll go take a look and find out the situation. If I meet Chi Huanyu and the others, I'll take care of them." Having said that, Fong Ping did not waste any more time. He disappeared on the spot in the blink of an eye. After leaving the crowd, Fong Ping's aura changed into Faceless aura. Faceless was a true god. Theoretically, Fong Ping could not imitate him. However, Faceless mentality was probably only about 10,000 hertz. Fong Ping tried it. It worked. 10,000 hertz mentality was exclusive to true gods. It was not strange that Faceless mentality was on par with Fong Ping's. Moreover, after all these years, perhaps his mentality had also declined substantially. There are still people. I'll go see these old friends then. Fong Ping did not know how many companions Faceless had. However, if he mingled in, it would be easier for his own people to kill each other. "It's time to end this," Fong Ping murmured softly as he looked at the dim space battlefield. "I don't really like this place. It's a little depressing." Those fellows outside were still waiting. Fong Ping also wanted to send them away as soon as possible. "Let's all go. The three realms should let Fong Ping be the boss." In this battle, more than 1,000 rank 9s were killed. All parties suffered a great loss of vitality. Once Absolute Summit left, it would really be time for him to show off his skills. Fong Ping chuckled softly. His face instantly turned into Faceless appearance. Only his two eyes were exceptionally terrifying. "Perhaps I can try infiltrating the enemy's inner circle. What's going on with this so-called divine sect? Also, I don't know if it'll work if I use this identity after I get out. I'll see." Various thoughts surfaced in Fong Ping's mind. Then he broke into a grin. This trip was not in vain. He had really become much stronger. Chapter 979. At the altar, the three statues were still motionless. However, the moment Faceless died, the old man whose eyes had shone earlier said slowly, "Faceless still hasn't returned. Did something happen?" In the space battlefield, the Tao did not appear. When Zhang Tao and the others killed the true king, the battlefield did not change much, but there was a rain of blood outside. At that moment, the space battlefield trembled slightly. But today, Fong Ping had stepped into Origin, and it had already trembled many times. Although the old man did not know that Faceless had died, he still felt a faint sense of danger. Did something happen to Faceless? After all, he had been in hibernation here for too long. There seemed to be many powerhouses in Origin on the other side. If they joined forces to attack Faceless, they might really hurt him or even kill him. As soon as the old man finished speaking, a statue of a muscular man said quickly, "Faceless is a true god powerhouse. Those people are just Origin. Even if we've been in hibernation until now, they probably can't do anything to Faceless." Faceless had used up a lot of energy and was out of energy, but in terms of strength, he was still ridiculously powerful. He could kill a regular rank 9 with a single punch. Even a rank 9 Origin without any special abilities could do the same. The top rank 9 was definitely not Faceless match. In most cases, when a martial artist reached peak rank, 9, their explosive power could only reach about 300,000 calories or so. Under such circumstances, the muscular man did not think that anything would happen to Faceless. That was what the muscular man said. On the other side, the last statue was of a woman. At this moment, the woman also said, "Let's wait a little longer. Faceless hasn't fought for many years. Now that he's in the mood, he'll stay for a while." Listening to them, the old man suppressed the unease in his heart. Logically speaking, reciprocity realm experts shouldn't be able to do anything to Nasia. Faceless was different from D. Hao. D. Hao's rank had dropped, but Faceless did not. It was just that his energy was depleted. These two were not the same. The old man did not continue this topic. He looked into the depths of the darkness and said again, "Those people have been waiting. We don't know if the oracle is among them. They haven't contacted us yet. If we act rashly, we might accidentally kill the oracle. Do you want to wait for Faceless to return or subdue these people now?" About 20 li away from them, a group of people was waiting. There was no movement. The old man was getting impatient. The woman asked, "Could the divine emissary be among the other group?" The old man said slowly, "Faceless killed that person. If the oracle was here, he would have revealed his identity." As for the person who had just advanced to the origin, they did not think that he was a divine messenger. The divine sect would not allow a golden body realm warrior to enter this place. The divine emissary's strength was not weak. The three of them communicated through voice transmissions. 20 li away from them, in the darkness, Qi Huanyu frowned. He looked in Fang Ping's direction for a while, and then at the dim light in front of him. He could vaguely see something there. Did Fang Ping and the others encounter a strong enemy? As Qi Huanyu thought to himself, he sensed that there was a battle going on. Then he looked at the darkness in front of him. After watching for a while, Qi Huanyu looked at the people he had brought with him. At this moment, there were still more than 100 people left. How many of the Second King's men are there? How many people from the various forces are there? Qi Huanyu sighed inwardly. Before the fight for the treasure, everyone was still in agreement. However, there were too many catacombs forces. One king, one faction. When it was time to fight for the treasure, they would escape after obtaining the treasure. Everyone would not have to act together. Among the remaining 100 or so people, there would not be many who would listen to his commands. "I can't snatch the treasure immediately. It's best to defeat Fang Ping and the others first, then snatch the treasure." Qi Huanyu weighed in his mind for a while and came to this conclusion. If the treasure was not in their hands, everyone would be won. Once it was in their hands, they would definitely go their separate ways. In front, there should be living people guarding. "I'm afraid it'll be troublesome." Qi Huanyu thought again. Maybe he could join forces with Fang Ping and the others to kill these people first, then fight Fang Ping and the others. Or join forces with the people in front, kill Fang Ping and the others, and then snatch the treasure? As he was thinking, someone came to him and said in a low voice, "Temple Master, should we continue to wait?" "Wait," Qi Huanyu said lightly. "There's no hurry. Fang Ping and the others didn't come. If we have a conflict with them now and they suddenly attack, then they'll be taking advantage of the situation." Yes. At this moment, Qi Huanyu's eyes moved, and he suddenly looked to his side. There, a figure flashed past at an astonishing speed. "Who's that?" Qi Huanyu was on guard. Very powerful. At least the feeling he gave was not weaker than when Di Hao integrated those blood spears. There was indeed such a powerhouse here. Qi Huanyu frowned. Divine Land was still confident in dealing with one or two such people. The Heavens Mandate Army's commander-in-chief had not died yet. There was no chaos origin here. At critical moments, he could also integrate the abilities of some military powerhouses and use a joint attack formation. The Sky Plant's army probably had such a trump card. Therefore, he was still confident in dealing with one or two true kings whose strength had been greatly reduced. However, if there were more, then he would have to join forces with Fang Ping and the others. Fang Ping's side had many powerhouses, and Fang Ping had many trump cards too. He was still confident in dealing with one. Moreover, my goal is not to kill these people, but to snatch the treasure. I'll find an opportunity to snatch the treasure and leave this place. Huan Yu stared at the figure. He did not speak, nor did he make any movements. Continue waiting. The altar. Fang Ping saw the three statues at a glance. In fact, he knew they were not statues, but their auras were very weak. These people must have fallen into a deep sleep. The gray matter on their outer skin must have been condensed by a special treasure. Very soon, Fang Ping saw the old man, with the gray matter on his cheeks broken. Fang Ping's heart skipped a beat. Very powerful. This old man gave him the feeling that he was slightly stronger than Faceless. Without looking at the old man, Fang Ping quickly glanced at the altar from the corner of his eyes. On the altar, a bead emitted a faint glow, illuminating the surroundings like a will-o'-the-wisp in the dark. It was somewhat terrifying. Fang Ping landed a few hundred meters away from the altar. Crack! He crushed the white bones on the ground with one foot. Fang Ping looked at the ground from the corner of his eyes, his heart sinking. How many powerhouses had died here in the past? Not only had they died, but all their strength had disappeared. White bones were all around the altar. Fang Ping roughly looked. There were probably no less than 300 of them. Some of these skeletons were lying on the ground, their heads facing the direction of the altar as if they were kowtowing. This is a formation, the kind that's similar to Unquestionable Sword's Emperor's Tomb. Extracting the strength of these skeletons to nourish that bead. Fang Ping was not an ignorant person now. He could roughly guess what was going on at a glance. All these years, it was not that Faceless and the others did not work here. They were controlling this formation, extracting the strength of the dead and nourishing that thing. Perhaps it was the so-called Demon Emperor's treasure. How generous! This was really a big move, even more so than Unquestionable Sword. This so-called divine sect used the corpses of hundreds of true gods and even emperor-level powerhouses to nourish a bead. Perhaps only the war between the North and the South and the Earth Emperor God dynasty could gather so many powerhouses. Otherwise, where could they find so many powerhouses' corpses? Fang Ping's gaze once again shifted to the altar surrounded by the three of them. The altar was as tall as a person. There was only this bead placed on it. However, Fang Ping vaguely sensed that something was not right. The altar covered about 100 square meters. He had yet to reach the altar's boundary, but he sensed a strange force. He could not tell what kind of force it was. This force seemed to permeate the entire altar, converging toward the bead. The strength of the dead. Fang Ping glanced at the broken bones under his feet. They were already so rotten. How could there be any energy extracted? Just as he was observing these, the old man's gaze turned to Fang Ping. He said in a low voice, "Faceless, why did you only come back now?" Having said that, he added, "Those people don't seem to be all dead." Fang Ping only had two eyes on his face. Right now, he was imitating Faceless' way of speaking, saying indifferently, "A bunch of ants. It doesn't matter if I kill them or not. They used up a lot of their strength. They scattered and fled. They didn't chase after them." As soon as he said that, the woman laughed. "That's true. We'll come here sooner or later anyway. It doesn't matter if we kill them or not." The burly man said. "Faceless, did you meet the oracle?" The oracle? Fong Ping's heart trembled, but he did not show it on his face. He said slowly, "No." Having said that, he did not stay any longer. He had already seen a depression on the altar where someone had sat. That should be Faceless. Fong Ping did not want to say more. He walked to that spot and sat down cross-legged. Like the few statues, he did not move an inch. At this moment, the gray substance on the old man's body was slightly broken. He turned his head slowly and glanced at Faceless. He had a nagging feeling that something was not right. After all, they had been together for thousands of years. Even if Fong Ping's aura was the same, he did not speak much, his figure and everything else were similar, but there was something different about him. He could not pinpoint the difference, but the old man just felt that this Faceless was slightly different from the Faceless he knew. However, the old man had not gone out for thousands of years. He did not know Fong Ping's name either. Otherwise, based on this little bit of intuition, the old man could probably guess that Faceless had been replaced by someone else. After turning his head to glance at Faceless, the old man slowly retracted his gaze. Since Faceless had returned, the old man spoke again. "Over there, a group of outsiders has been waiting for a long time. Why don't we take the initiative and kill them?" The burly man said, "The oracle hasn't shown up yet. Why don't we wait a little longer?" "Yes, the divine church's order hasn't arrived yet. If we kill the oracle by mistake, it'll be very troublesome." The woman also spoke up. These two words made Fong Ping a little wary. Oracle? The divine church's oracle? If that was the case, there were people from this divine church among the people who came in this time. Were they among Chi Huanyu's group or among his own people? How many oracles were there? If he left now, Old Kong, and the others would have to be careful. If they were ambushed by this so-called oracle, it would be very troublesome. No, if the oracle is on my side, it'll be even more troublesome. They know that I killed Faceless. Once they arrive, my identity will be exposed immediately. Fong Ping made a judgment in his heart. Whether or not the oracle was on his side, his identity might be exposed once the humans arrived. Dozens of people might not be able to stay calm. Any slight abnormality might arouse their vigilance. When the old man looked at him earlier, he could feel that this fellow was very vigilant. He had not moved for thousands of years, yet he could still maintain such vigilance. He was probably not weak back then. At this moment, the few of them fell silent again, as if waiting for Chi Huanyu and the others to take the initiative. However, Fong Ping did not have time to waste with them. He said slowly, "I'm worried that the oracle might have died on the way here." As soon as these words came out, the few of them were stunned. The old man frowned slightly. "The oracle sent by the divine church can't be too weak." This, Fong Ping said lightly. "I heard from those people that before coming in, thousands of origins had already died in battle." When these words came out, the few of them were a little surprised. So many people had died. When Fong Ping and the others entered, there were only about 200 people. They knew that people must have died outside, but they did not know that so many had died. It was fine if there were few deaths, but if there were many, the oracle might not be alive. The old man frowned. "What should they do now?" Fong Ping said again. "Although these juniors are origins, their strength is very strong. Previously, I delayed until now because of the other party's strength. I only managed to kill that person after consuming a lot of energy. It's best not to let these two parties meet." "You mean attack now?" the old man asked. Fong Ping said lightly, "I need to recover for a while. Attack is also your business." He did not know if the old man was their leader, but it did not matter. They were all true gods with equal status. He felt that there was no need to bow and scrape. In any place, strength spoke louder. True gods feared emperor level, but they would not fear powerhouses who were also true gods. Even if the old man was the leader, he might not be able to completely command the true gods. As expected, the old man did not mind Fang Ping's words. After a moment of silence, the old man said in a low voice, "Then attack. Faceless, stay with Elysian, and guard the gate of all beings. In the future, the gate of all beings must not be moved." Elysian Moon, who was that woman, chuckled when she heard that. "I know. In the future, the gate of all beings will not be moved easily. Besides, it's just a group of origins. If you, Chang Qingzi, make a move, won't you return very quickly?" The old man said no more. The gray matter on his body rapidly shattered. Beside him, the brawny man did the same. He said, "It's been more than 2,000 years. To reduce our losses, we have not moved more than a few times. This time, after killing all these people, we should also go out. We have no choice but to go out." The old man, Chang Qingzi, revealed his true appearance. His white hair fluttered in the wind. With a horsetail whisk in his hand, he looked like an immortal. After shattering the gray matter, Chang Qingzi smiled faintly. "Since we have been sealed, we have not been able to replenish our spirit chi. If we don't go out, we will hurt our golden bodies." The space battlefield's energy was sealed. Although hibernation could reduce consumption, it did not mean that there was no consumption. After thousands of years, they had also reached their limits. Chang Qingzi shattered the gray matter. His aura flashed and disappeared. Fang Ping was slightly shocked. This guy was very strong. The fluctuation of a true god's vitality was not small. Based on rank 9 vitality, from 800,000 calories to 2 million calories was the range of a true god. More than 2 million calories was the emperor level. During this period, the fluctuation of vitality could reach as high as 1,000,000 cal. Of course, this was relative to a rank 9. Therefore, the combat strength of a true god was not small. Someone as strong as Battle King had killed more than one true king. This guy's aura flashed and disappeared just now. I feel that he is at least 30% stronger than Faceless. Faceless vitality at his peak was probably 1,000,000 cal. This old man, on the other hand, was probably 3 million calories. Even if he was severely exhausted now, his explosive power was definitely much stronger than Faceless. "He can kill me." Fang Ping was on his guard again. Fang Ping had a standard to judge whether he could kill him. If the other party's explosive power exceeded his limit, it meant that the other party had the ability to kill him. Like now, his limit was about 620,000 calories. If the other party's explosive destructive power exceeded 600,000 calories, Fang Ping might be killed in a second. Weak true gods, the weakest kind, had 800,000 calories vitality. If their strength control exceeded 80%, they would have the ability to kill Fang Ping. Of course, Fang Ping could also run. But that was another matter. I have to be careful. This old guy is not to be trifled with. Fang Ping glanced at the strong man. The strong man's ability was similar to Faceless. A powerhouse like this might not have the ability to kill Fang Ping in one move. If that was the case, if Fang Ping continued to fight him, the other party's chances of dying would be higher. Among the three of them, the only one who was a threat was Chang Qingzi. However, if his identity was exposed and he was surrounded by the three of them, Fang Ping would die a terrible death. Fang Ping glanced at Elysian Moon, who did not shatter the imperishable substance. This woman, if she and he were left alone, maybe he could take the opportunity to kill her. Then he could seize this gate of all beings and get out of the space battlefield. These fellows might not dare to chase after him. Fang Ping calculated in his mind for a while. At this time, Chang Qingzi and the strong man were ready to leave. Chang Qingzi stopped in his tracks. Suddenly, he looked at Fang Ping and said slowly, "Faceless, don't touch the gate of all beings recklessly, lest you cause trouble." Fang Ping said nothing. He did not know what Chang Qingzi meant. Why did he specifically warn him? Could it be that Faceless had done this often in the past? But obviously not. The strong man seemed a little surprised. He glanced at Chang Qingzi, then looked at Fang Ping and said, "Faceless, this is something that the sect leader needs. You can't touch it." Fang Ping glared at them coldly, without saying a word. The strong man smiled and ignored him. Chang Qingzi saw this and said nothing more. His footsteps seemed slow, but in the blink of an eye, he was 1,000 meters away. Qi Huanyu and the others were less than 20 li away from this place. They were only 10,000 meters away, but Chang Qingzi was almost there in the blink of an eye. The strong man followed him quickly and said nothing more. After they left, Mingyu said with a smile, "Faceless, how did you provoke Chang Qingzi? This guy is very close to the Lord Sect Protector. Be careful when you leave this place. He'll complain to the Lord Sect Protector." Fang Ping said lightly, "I didn't provoke him." Before he finished his sentence, Qi Huanyu's roar came from afar. "Get into formation." "Who are you waiting for?" Qi Huanyu's voice was loud. Although he was cautious, he did not retreat without a fight. Fang Ping quickly sensed a strong aura rising. It was similar to Qi Huanyu's aura, but it seemed to be mixed with some other auras. Fang Ping had seen the Destiny Army powerhouses fusing energy and using joint attacks before. It was not too surprising. However, Qi Huanyu did not join them previously. At that time, it was Jinan and the others who were leading. Although they were powerful, their limit was probably around 500,000 calories. Right now, with Qi Huanyu joining them, Fang Ping was still a little surprised. Qi Huanyu was already extremely powerful. Now that he had fused some powerhouse's energy, Fang Ping felt that he was even slightly stronger than Faceless. As expected, this guy still has a backup plan. Not many of the people who came this time are easy to deal with. It's not like Jiang Kuei, and the others don't have any trump cards, including Gu Qing, who was killed. That guy also displayed the strength of a true god at the end. If Alliance Master Zhao wasn't stronger, I probably wouldn't have been able to kill him. Fang Ping was on his guard again. Powerhouses from all sides more or less had some trump cards. Except for humans. The humans indeed did not have much of a foundation. There was only one word to describe them: reckless. It could not be helped. The time for the rise of the new martial artists was too short. As he was thinking, there was a rumble. There was more than one aura. In the next second, Fang Ping sensed a second aura, a third, a fourth. They were all very powerful. Heavenly Plant's Royal Court, Myriad Demon Royal Court, Guardian Royal Court. The 4 Royal Courts seemed to have joint attacks. Fang Ping was a little surprised. Did they get it recently, or did they exist in the past? If they existed in the past, the humans did not seem to have encountered such a situation in the catacombs. Of course, the humans mainly fought in the outer realm, but the outer realm might not. The people who came this time were the elite forces of the 4 royal courts. Perhaps this joint attack had not been leaked to the outside world. Fang Ping was too lazy to think about it. He had heard that this kind of combat technique had its drawbacks. The duration was very short. After a long time, the origin would be chaotic. However, the powerhouses from all 4 sides had used the joint attack now. Under their joint attack, they were fighting against 2 true gods who were severely depleted. They were not at a disadvantage for a while. Fong Ping even heard Qi Huanyu's roar. It was related to him. Both of you, I am the Deputy Hall Master of Destiny Royal Court's Destiny Palace. This time, I have come here on behalf of Divine Land. I have been reluctant to fight with you because there are still a group of powerhouses outside. Some of them are extremely powerful. I have suffered a great loss before. Qi Huanyu was unwilling to fight the other party to the death now. He had no choice but to fight. If he did not fight and split up, the two of them would be able to kill a large number of rank 9s very quickly. He would be in trouble then. However, if he continued to fight, it might really benefit Fong Ping. Right now, he could only try to rope in the Chang Qingzi duo and get rid of Fong Ping and the rest first. Your strength is severely depleted. It is not worth it to fight with us now. Kill the third party first. When the time comes, I won't say a word even if you and I fight to the death. Both of you, do you really want to fight us now? Qi Huanyu's voice was loud. His combat strength was also extremely powerful. Even though they were 10,000 meters apart, and in the darkness, Fong Ping could see a long spear piercing the sky. Qi Huanyu combined the strength of some people and fought Chang Qingzi alone. The horsetail whisk and the long spear shot out rays of light in the void. The other three parties besieged the burly man, and it was hard to tell who would win. At the altar, Mingyu said lightly that Deputy Hall Master of Destiny Palace is not weak. However, Man Xiong is a physique Dao powerhouse. Even if his energy is depleted, his physique is still extremely powerful. I don't think the other three parties' joint attack will last long. Sooner or later, Man Xiong will break through. When that time comes, these people will definitely die. She was not too worried about the two of them. Although Qi Huanyu was powerful, this was not his own strength. Although they had depleted a lot of energy, they were only depleted of energy. The burly man cultivated the physique Dao. Even if his energy was depleted, his golden body was still extremely powerful. As time went on, the three parties would be defeated by him. If they went to help Chang Qingzi, these people would all die. Fong Ping said calmly, "Be careful. We've depleted too much energy now. It'll be troublesome if we go out." Mingyu smiled. "The divine sect will definitely have reinforcements outside. Don't worry too much. I'm just afraid that if we leave with the gate of all beings, we'll become everyone's target. Faceless. When did you become such a coward?" Mingyu was a little surprised. Faceless was not a coward. On the contrary, he was a very proud fellow. However, he kept talking about this now. Could it be that he was frightened by a group of origins when he fought those people earlier? Fong Ping sighed softly. After a while, he said with some hesitation, "Chang Qingzi was here earlier, so I didn't say anything. When I was fighting those people earlier, I heard a piece of news that made me feel a little uneasy." "What is it?" "The divine sect has been destroyed." When she heard this, Mingyu was stunned. Annihilated? That was impossible. For more than 2,000 years, they had been guarding this place. It was as if they had never considered this problem. However, after more than 2,000 years, did the divine sect still exist? This moment of confusion was the opportunity that Fong Ping wanted to seize. Almost at this moment, Fong Ping's aura was instantly withdrawn. His mentality was shapeless and intangible, turning into countless long sabers, blasting into Mingyu's mind. Immediately after, a crystal house landed, covering Mingyu. He wanted to kill this true god without making a sound. They were more than 20 li apart. Mingyu's aura was already weak, and the gray substance on her had not fallen off. There was still hope. Only when she was covered by the crystal house did Mingyu let out a shrill scream. She had never thought of guarding against Fong Ping. More than 2,000 years. She still had some basic trust. More than 2,000 years. If they had been guarding against their companions, they would have exhausted their minds and died a long time ago. However, who would have thought that after more than 2,000 years, her companions would attack her? Faceless. No, you're not. Mingyu's mentality was severely damaged. The gray substance on her body cracked instantly, and her head split open. However, at this moment, Mingyu also realized this was not Faceless. Faceless did not have such a materialization either. Faceless had been replaced by someone else. Mingyu exploded instantly, but this time, Fang Ping was faster than her. The moment her mentality was severely damaged, Fang Ping had already caught up. Almost at the same time, Mingyu exploded. Fang Ping's fist landed from the sky. With a boom, Mingyu's head exploded directly. The power of this punch was horrifying. The crystal house was cracked by the attack. Ah! Another scream was heard. Mingyu's broken body retreated rapidly, but the crystal house shrank instantly. Both of them were squeezed together again. The headless Ming, you looked especially scary, but Fang Ping did not care if she was scary or not. His toes were like knives, and in the blink of an eye, he kicked dozens of times. The golden flesh fell instantly, as if it was slicing meat, leaving only an empty skeleton. With one move, he had the upper hand. Fang Ping was worried that these true gods had more tricks up their sleeves, so he did not hold back at all. He had no intention of testing the waters. His mentality recovered to its peak in the blink of an eye, and he exploded again. Sky Smasher! Fang Ping let out a low growl and threw another punch. This time, the entire crystal house cracked open with a series of cracking noises. Fang Ping's punch also blew up Mingyu's skeleton instantly. A true god powerhouse was ambushed by Fang Ping in the blink of an eye, killed on the spot in 3 moves. Even though Fang Ping had blown up her golden body, he did not let up. His mentality exploded again, sweeping in all directions. The entire crystal house shrank again, and his mentality exploded in waves. After a few consecutive explosions in the crystal house, a sharp scream came from a crack in the wall. Then, a small person exploded with a bang. Fang Ping still did not dare to let up. He swept in all directions again. After a while, there was no response. Only then did Fang Ping panted heavily, half kneeling on the ground. Just now, he was extremely nervous. Luckily, there's Faceless as an example. Otherwise, this woman might really be able to escape. Fang Ping was shocked. These true gods were really capable. They could actually maintain consciousness with just a little bit of mentality left. If there was enough energy and treasures, they could be regenerated. Of course, this was not what he was afraid of. He was worried that the commotion would be too big, luring the 2 people in front to return. Phew, Fang Ping panted again. Soon, the crystal house disappeared. The commotion in front was still very big. The small commotion on Fang Ping's side did not seem to attract any attention. At this moment, the void trembled slightly. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. It was the same when he killed Faceless earlier. Would Chong Qingzi and the other 2 associate it? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.